That's just what it's blamed
the
on.
Saudis lowered output.
Yeah, and that's because Trump made a 2-year deal with them to do so.
Right, and they gave Jared Kushner $2 billion under the table, and nobody's ever investigated it.
Exactly. And I wasn't sure if you were aware of all. There's a lot more stuff than that going on.
I've got the DNC.
I'm actually. It's like it's like another economic thing that drives me nuts when I talk to people about inflation.
We're waiting for someone exciting to come up for it.
We already know that a good 30% of the inflation that we've been experiencing is from corporate profit gouging.
Are you a citizen? Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I've been.
And if it wasn't for the corporate profit gouging, and it wasn't for them trying to get all of this cash in so they could do these huge stock buybacks, and I have an example of that.
Okay, then you should not vote.
Then we legitimately would have had close to a 2% inflation rate last fall. We'd be looking at the Fed lowering interest rates throughout this entire last year.
I am
instead
tuned
of
in.
hoping for one in September.
Yeah.
I'm tuned in. It's on.
And from what I'm seeing,
show it
well,
on screen.
I'm doing research into this for somebody else, so I'm trying not to give out too much, you know.
Look up. Okay, so the company I work for, look up John Deere for their 2023 profits. Okay.
I know.
Right. I've looked into that. I have that somewhere.
Their profits were somewhere around 11 billion, right? That was net.
Yeah.
Before taxes were paid. They spent $7 billion of that. 2/3 of their profit margin went to stock buybacks.
Yeah.
Didn't go into wages, didn't go into improving facilities, didn't go into training, didn't go into making their product cheaper. In fact, they raised the cost of their product by 10%.
Yeah. Well, whenever I've been looking into this, and whenever economists figure inflation, they don't like to calculate in oil prices. They're like, oh, that's short term and it evens out over time. But from what I'm seeing, it does not.
No, it's consistently been going up since 2000. Well, actually, since the early 90s. The price of gas has roughly tripled since about 90. If you want, when did I first start driving? When did I get my driver's license? 94. So the price of gasoline, I remember paying about $1.10 a gallon in 94 or 95. So the price of gas has effectively tripled in 30 years.
Yeah, but for the reason for it is not because of production.
No,
whenever they can change the amount of production willy-nilly at will, then, like demand is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. And if you look back at the articles and the things that have happened, you can see that they actually do just willy-nilly change the production amount.
Too early.
Well, it's again what it comes down to is it's whatever is happening globally combined with how much money does Saudi Arabia want to make.
He's at dinner with his sister.
Yeah, and also, like I said, I've been looking at, if you follow the fuel of the oil prices, every time we get a Republican, right, they lower the oil prices. They get what they want. So if you really dig into it, you see that the Republican Party is more strongly tied with oil.
And it always has been.
So, then it always has been. And in being so, then they're more closely tied to the Middle East.
And the old Dixiecrats and the old Democrats, if you go back 60, 75 years before the ideology, the party switch happened under Johnson, if you go back that far, Texas always voted Democrat.
Yeah.
Texas has always voted for what's best for oil concerns. And when the party flip happened during the Johnson administration, but around the time it started happening around the time Kennedy got assassinated, and then it definitely happened under the Johnson administration. When that occurred, Texas went red, and that's because Republicans were what was best for oil at that point.
Yep, that's the way it worked. I wasn't sure if I heard you say it talking, and this is something I've been researching, so I was like, wait, nice. And then I was listening to
welcome back to school.
To Brenna talking to people in the chat who are just dead wrong. And I wanted to join so bad, but I didn't get off work yet. So
there's a lot of people out there that still think of that still have this viewpoint of this fantasy that the general corporate profit margin is still only 1.6 to 2%. No investor on this planet will invest in any company that has less than a 6% profit margin. If the average company had that low of a profit
The
margin,
stock market goes up higher than that
right,
in a year. It's like
if
it's
the
fucking
average
impossible.
company was doing that, none of them would be getting money. None.
yeah, they would just close up.
And the fact of the matter is that there's a very large number, and you're going to have
Reverend
to look up.
Jesse Jackson is
correct
about to
me if
give a
I'm wrong
speech
on
at the
this, but
DNC.
my general understanding from the reading I've done is there's a very, very large number of companies that were in that 6 to 8% range that in the last 3 years have been in an 8 and 12% range, which means they did something to increase that.
Yeah.
That they didn't earn. They just decided to start doing it.
Yeah. Yep. You're right on that. I've also read about that.
Okay, cool. I feel like I'm crazy every once in a while trying to talk to, again, if it's not obvious, I live in Iowa, so I try to have these conversations with other people, and it's like, do you do any reading whatsoever?
No.
Economy is not something most people are interested in. It's very boring. Inflation, economy, and all this stuff it's sort of hidden in the vast amounts of paperwork. So unless you really dig, you don't get to the bottom of it.
Well, we can talk about other things that have affected inflation. I mean, we have local governments that haven't helped whatsoever.
You can't put dual camera on.
The home that I live in, when we bought it, we paid $108 for it. This was in 2019. Okay, so this is 5 years ago. Paid $108 for it. The property taxes were assessed at $88. My property taxes as of this year are being assessed at $128.
Yeah.
If the value of this place on Zillow is $160,000, the value of this house has gone up almost 50% in 5 years. And that doesn't even count the fact that I've refinished the basement. There's Cat 5 networking through the whole place. There's a fire pit in the backyard. There's garden beds in the backyard. All the other work that I've done on it doesn't even get counted into that equation. That's just the raw number they had since the last time it was sold when I bought it 5 years ago.
Yeah. That's what they do with the property tax. I don't gripe about property tax because it's so much cheaper than renting or leasing.
Oh,
my
I'm not
property,
going to
my
gripe
house
about
and
that.
stuff
My
is
mortgage went up $30 a month, and it was because of escrow. It had nothing to do with anything else. And I'm like sitting here going, "Cool! I have a nice little middle class house that I have a mortgage that's less than $850 a month. Still, I don't care."
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I'm paying half what somebody would for the same size place to rent.
Yeah.
See, my property tax and stuff per year is cheaper than what the normal renter would pay per month. So that's a year. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, it's damn near the same way in this area. That seems to be a pretty consistent thing. Like if your property taxes for a certain place are $2,400 a year, that's how much the monthly rent is for that place.
Yeah, for a decent place to live. Yeah, it's a fact. And I've lived a bunch of different places.
That seems to be pretty consistent, at least across the Midwest. I know when you get into the cities and some of the inner suburbs, things start getting really wonky. But no, it's really hard to have, like I said, to have these conversations, and the sad thing is, my current viewpoint is, if we were to put a 10% tax on stock buybacks, that would solve half of our problem financially as a country. For every dollar that you spend on buying back a stock, you owe 10 cents in tax.
Yeah, that would help a lot. But another thing that's going to help a lot, and the reason why the people that are on the oil side of things are so against green energy, is it it would definitely put a big dent in how hard they can really give it to us when it comes to oil and energy prices. It's just a fact.
Well, okay, so you're talking about a control aspect of, we don't want you to do this because then we can't punish you, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That's the same reason why they don't want Medicare for all, because they want people to be stuck in these shitty jobs that they're dependent upon that job for their health care.
Yep.
Because
And it also weakens unions because
Correct.
they have to spend all this time and all this effort negotiating benefits like healthcare.
And I love that fact, but okay, I will admit, if you included all my benefits that I had when I worked at Deere, in 2023, I was making an average of $48 an hour, including the healthcare benefit.
Sure. But you were also again, like universal healthcare, it's like you weren't getting that, like, yes, you were technically making that much in terms in like benefits. Not, I know that's like both salary and benefits
because
and stuff.
I calculate it, and most people don't do that.
Right, but the thing is also like you're getting whatever, let's say $20, an hour in healthcare benefits, but in a country where it's like the most expensive healthcare in the world, and it's also not the best healthcare in the world, so it's like $20 down the drain. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you were to get the cash instead of that and just have universal healthcare, it would be worth so much more than what it is being put towards healthcare.
Tom from Chicago has tried to explain this to people like 5 or 6 times as far as what Great Britain does.
Exactly, Tim.
Great Britain pays 10% flat that goes into their medical and pension system, which is our Medicare and Social Security. Okay. So we wouldn't be paying for Social Security tax. We wouldn't be paying for the Medicare tax. That would become a flat 10%. And for anyone that pays monthly premiums, you wouldn't be paying that either. And he keeps telling people, I guarantee you, if you look at your pay stub and calculate that all together, what you're paying right now is well above 10%. And he's right. It is for most people. Yeah. For unions, it's not. And that's one of the failures of a lot of unions. And the UAW did a very good job of communicating this over and over and over again. But when your workforce and your membership only think that the amount of money that they're making is what's on their paycheck, that's when things get difficult.
That's true.
And I have a couple other opinions. I like one of Kamala's economic theory aspects. It's been ridiculous that we haven't raised the 22% bracket for a single person earning to at least $60,000 a year yet. That's absolutely dumb. That when you
what is the bracket at? Do you know?
If you are a single person with no dependents, it's I think $46,000 earnings above that, you start paying 22%. Yeah. It's obscenely low. I've never had to worry about it.
And the highest tax bracket is also kicks in really low, right? Because the highest tax bracket is something like 30-something%. Right.
Yeah, and it kicks in, I think, at 160 now. It's not 160? That high.
Oh, okay.
No, 160 isn't that much. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, our tax brackets all need to get readjusted. I haven't had to worry about it. I've only been paying at most 12% because I married filing joint. And last year, I think married filing joint after the standard deduction and just having one child, we would have had to have earned gross like $125,000. So if you're married, you're making out like, I don't know where people come up with this marriage penalty thing because it's not there. If you're married, you're making out like a bandit tax wise. If you're single, you're getting ripped off.
Yeah. It drives me crazy because there were a couple of years way back when I'm a freelancer where I was in the highest tax bracket, and I'm like, I'm sure it has been since raised. I don't think I was making 160. Was I? I don't know. Couple years I was in the highest tax bracket, and I was like, I live in a studio apartment in Brooklyn. I own no property, no car. I don't have that much to my name. I only have health insurance like 50% of the time. You know what I mean? And I was like, the fact
Yeah.
that I'm in the highest tax bracket in this fucking country,
That was me in my 20s.
there's something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was in my 20s, yeah, at the time as well. It's like,
yeah, that was
Okay.
that was me in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, no, so I get it.
many moons ago. No,
But the sad thing is, and from an economic standpoint, we talk about what's
Exactly,
wrong with
Tim.
the economy. I can sum up my opinion of what's wrong with the economy with this statement right here. I have 24 years of IT experience that ranges from switching out computer mice to installing servers and doing data warehouse work. Last year, when I worked for Deere before I got laid off, I made 30% more than I ever made any other year my entire life taking torque wrenches and going click. That's why our economy is broken. Our knowledge user wage,
Damn, yeah.
what we pay people to use their brains versus what we pay people to destroy their bodies is out of whack.
that's true. That's true.
I've been saying that for years.
It's been progressively
years.
getting worse over the last 25 years. I mean, I started seeing that change when I was working for Altel, going out into the fields in the middle of the winter, switching things over from the old radio system to the first G1 CDMA cards. Yeah, I'm old.
I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
Look up the Zach Morris brick phone.
Zach Morris brick phone.
Yep. That's what analog cellular systems required in order to be able to use them. Was you had to carry around a phone
Oh,
like
I
that.
remember that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these nifty little devices that we have now and whatnot, that wouldn't be possible unless we had started switching over to that CDMA digital system,
Right.
which other trivia point was invented by a Hollywood heiress actress
Oh, yeah,
prior to World War II named Hedley Lamar.
I was gonna say Hetty. Yeah. I know.
Brilliant
That I know.
mathematician. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Actually, it's funny because I kind of wanted to write. So I work in the film industry, and before the pandemic, I was screenwriting a lot, and I've always wanted to write like a sort of biopic about her.
Oh, she had an incredibly interesting life.
Yeah, she's super cool.
I mean, you're talking about somebody that the number of things that she did that no one else would have accomplished in their life during one of the peaks of misogyny in the United States. I mean, it was just nuts.
Yeah, she's fucking absolute genius. Very cool lady.
So anyway, I appreciate you letting me hop on. No, I
of
thank
course.
you for correcting me on those couple of gas things, because there is some historical things that I had forgotten about.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I was hoping you were opposition on all this.
No,
The guy came up here
I
looking for a
deal-
fight.
I deal in
did. I love
reality,
it.
and I mean,
He came
I
up
deal
here
in reality,
looking
and
to
I am under no illusions that the whole reason why I got laid off is so that Deere could try to crank an extra $500 million of profit this year at the expense of everything else that they've done over the last 3 decades. So yeah, we're right now I'm waiting to see, as far as like some of these CEOs that are starting to get nailed, like the CEO of Stellantis Chrysler and Deere CEO, and there's a few others. I'm waiting to see how much longer after the year end that they last in their positions, because they're not good for the companies that they're working for. They're good for their own pocketbooks. They're good for their own stock portfolios, but they're not good for those companies at all.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully I get this gig with the electricians union here in town, and I can start an apprenticeship there at almost 50 years old, and spend the last 15, 20 years of my work life relearning a third career.
It's going to be fun.
I'm a zillennial. I'm a younger Gen X and kind of right on that edge. So everything the millennials have gone through, my wife and I have dealt with it. I mean, she still has student loans, and we're almost 50.
Yeah.
Same. I'm getting pretty old.
Yeah.
I'm 45. So
And it's not because we weren't paying on them. You know, everybody goes, well, you should have paid them down.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works,
No,
because
that's not
these
how that
companies are so predatory. Like during COVID, I was actually able to go through the entire history of her loan because it finally became available, since these companies weren't doing anything else because they weren't bringing in cash.
Yeah.
Every time her student loan went to another company, they reset the 10-year payout.
What do you mean by that?
So her loan has been sold 12 times
Jesus.
to different organizations, and every time it went to a different provider, they reset her monthly payment to a lower monthly payment to look like they were doing her a favor.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to do this without refinancing the loan, reset the terms of the loan to a 10-year period.
Mm-hmm.
So if it had stayed with the original company, she would have had it paid off in 2011, 2012. Okay? Because it kept jumping every single time, the payments went from 450 to 350 to 300 to 250 to 200, but we were always paying 50 to 75% of that amount in interest,
Right.
because they kept resetting it. Instead of telling us, no, keep paying the higher amount, they kept resetting it to another 10-year loan methodology and keeping the interest rate at a certain percentage of the payment.
It's fucking garbage.
So we were never really paying off the principal it was a $32,000 loan. We didn't start paying down the principal until I finally put my foot down and we started packing away and saving up money during COVID to do one big payment. And when we finally got, that was the other thing. It took 6 months for them to tell us who to send money to.
Of course it did. Did you ever watch the Patriot Act?
No, I haven't seen that.
He does a whole episode on it's with Hassan Minhaj. He does a whole episode on like student loans and all the like on the buying and the selling and the refinancing and the whole it's fucking You might like it.
Yeah, it's a totally predatory industry.
Yeah.
That's why when you hear conservatives go, well, you should just pay the loan off, it's like, you don't have any idea how complex what you just said is, when it shouldn't be. We agree with you, it should be that easy.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. You should definitely watch that episode, because that's kind of his whole thing too, where he's like, he talks about like people who just want to like pay them off and like can't, like not because they don't have the money, but because of the way they're structured and how it's like.
Right.
Yeah.
When we paid mine off last winter, when we finally got mine down to zero last winter, before I gave them the last $2,000 check just to get rid of it, I was worried enough that I called in to make sure I didn't have an early completion fee. Because some of these loans, if you pay them off early, the banks or the providers will nail you with a several $1,000 fine for paying it off early. That's how some of these were structured.
Yeah. That's such bullshit.
It is. Well, my original plan was to get it down to the point where to not completely pay it off and bring it down to like $10 and just let the 3 cents or 30 cents worth of interest accumulate every single month, and then once a year give them another $10 and just pay for the interest until it got to the completion date, so that I didn't have to pay for the penalty. That was my original plan, was to make them waste money.
Good. Feel
By
like
the way,
that we should all do
I fully endorse that to anybody that's looking for personal financial advice. If you have an early payoff penalty, get that sucker as low as you can and let it ride and make them waste money.
Yeah. I like that.
That is the most petty revenge you can have against these fuckers that have been doing our student loans that you can get, is costing them cash. Anyway, have a good evening.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, I'll hop in. You keep popping up on my live feeds. I actually like your content. So
Thank you.
and definitely look into that Hedy Lamarr thing, because I know
I will. I have. No, I've read about her, and yeah, I would like to. There's a reason.
Oh, you can even incorporate the Mel Brooks joke.
What's the Mel Brooks joke?
The villain in Blazing Saddles is named Hedy Lamarr, and Mel Brooks, when he brings up Hedy Lamarr, one of the characters goes, "You can't say that," and Mel Brooks goes, it's 1880 something. She isn't even born yet. You'll be able to sue her.
I'm lost on this.
You'll have to
watch
watch Blazing Saddles. It's at the beginning of the movie.
All right.
There's a Hedy Lamarr joke, or a Hedy Lamarr joke, and it's great. It's wonderful. Anyway, have a good night.
You too. Thank you for coming up, Duncan, and talking a bit about oil and fracking and stuff. That was good. It was interesting. Yeah. I have to. I'm already so sleepy. Why?
You just made me yawn, damn it.
I'm sorry.
You made me yawn across time zones.
Across time zones.
Yeah.
I slept so much yesterday. So much. I guess I woke up early. I woke up at like 5 a.m. this morning.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But I fell asleep last night at like 7, so around now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That would explain that. What are your thoughts on, like, do you remember, like, I want to say about a few months ago, may have been more like last fall, I want to say, give or take, that there was like a little viral trend going around on Instagram or maybe TikTok, and it was like for a student loan strike?
I might have seen. I feel like that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I really wonder what happened to that, because I think it's a really good idea. Or there was some guy on TikTok had the idea of everyone buying, like, get as many people that are in debt with student loans. Those people buy like 1 or 2 shares of like Sally Mae.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then just like hold, like, just as many people buy a share of SLM, and then like, you know, artificially jack up its value, and then just sell and crash it.
I like that.
I do too. A few day traders though that like actually have more experience are like, well, that's a nice thought, but there's like safeguards in place against pump and dump schemes.
And also, the amount of coordination it would require to make that actually happen would also help to counteract the damage it could do, right? Because day traders and swing traders, like, if you see the spike, all you got to do is like look up, okay, like do a little research to say, why is it spiking? And you see this whole trend on social media, and you say, okay, cool. Sell once it's like reasonably high, knowing that it's going to be a pump and dump. Or, you know, set yourself some like stop loss triggers, and then and catch it on its way, you know, down before it gets to the bottom. And then all the bag holders are going to be the actual like student loan holders as well, which are going to be like, you know, fucked.
Exactly. Right.
Fucked,
That's the problem. So student loans, that's why a student loan strike is way more attractive.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love general strikes. I love like loan strikes. I rent strikes. Love that shit. The only risk is the only thing is that I think it's like hard to trust that everyone will actually like go through something. You know what I mean? Like, how do you ensure that everyone on the internet or that you get enough people like to genuinely do the loan strike that time, so that you won't get focused in on, you know what I mean, and you won't be like delinquent on your loans or whatever.
I mean, I think that's kind of the like idea, is that like if enough people go into delinquency, like first off, if enough people go into delinquency, the way I tend to think about it is like there was at one point a housing bubble, and people thought, oh yeah, real estate, it's rock solid, it's the bedrock, it will never crash because everyone will always pay their mortgages, right? Until people couldn't, or they didn't. Most of the time it was they just couldn't. And then the bubble just popped, and like you had all these assholes, just all these hedge fund managers, all these finance bros just betting that, oh yeah, no, it's untouchable, it will never crack, and it shat itself, you know, and they lost a shitload of money. So I'm willing to bet the exact same financial apparatus is in place for student loans. I'm willing to bet that because there's so much bureaucratic hegemony around this, like, oh, if you don't pay it off, you know, they garnish your wages, you know, you can't qualify for bankruptcy on it. I get the feeling that if enough people were to go into delinquency, that people higher up would feel the pain themselves, because then it would no longer be valuable to assume that, oh, this will always be paid off, much like the housing stocks, or bonds and shit.
I mean,
like that.
yeah, Irving is also saying like the subprime loans with variable interest rates were being handed out like candy. That was a big part of it too.
Well, that's exactly the same thing with student loans. They were being handed out like candy.
They have been, yes, and to kids, to children, to literal fucking like 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Right, and now they're angry. Now they're all up in their feelings that, oh, wait a minute, an 18-year-old who had to raise their hand to take a shit can't pay off the $60,000 loan you gave them? Oh, that's...
The only thing is with student loans, I guess, the one thing that like prevents them from crashing is the fact that someone cannot declare bankruptcy on them, which means that if they ever work again, it's like they will get paid back because their wages will be garnished to pay for it. You know what I mean? That's the only sort of, I guess, saving. Because like you can declare bankruptcy and like not. Also, like the loans are the loans, right? Like there's once the education, the degree is like paid for, like that's it. It's not something that you can like sell, that there's going to be like an over saturated market that no one can like offload these, you know, degrees, if that makes sense, right? So it's like with houses, part of it was also like all of a sudden you had all these people, who couldn't pay off any of these like loans that were insured against each other or whatever, right? Like, I don't fucking know. But also you had all these houses that now all of a sudden like a ton of houses were on the market and like no one could buy any of the houses, so the houses themselves, the value dropped. So people who also used like, you know, had house of valuable real estate that they had paid off or whatever, all of a sudden the value of that also dropped. And so anything that they mortgaged against that was also like in trouble. So I feel like there's this more...
I'm saying that now, fuck.
There's like more of like a full kind of like domino thing there, that with like student loans, it's like, well, no one's trying to sell those degrees. Like once you got the degree, you owe the money and that's it. And also like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like if I wanted to just get like sleazy with it, I could say, well, technically the school is trying to sell you the degree. They're just using
they sold it to you. The school got the money and they sold it to you. And so like, it's more right just there. Like, you know, the houses, it's like, you can be sold a house but the whole value of the house is based on the fact that you're going to sell it again later at a higher rate and stuff, whatever.
I'm seeing it now. It's not the same. It's not capital.
Yeah.
God, this is fucking bullshit.
I know.
This is such fucking horse shit.
I do have a question. It can debt be a factor in a background check for an employment?
It can for like government job for certain types of jobs, yeah, especially ones that require whatchamacallit, clearance. Like
I think if you're
you know,
like in the
higher clearance and stuff.
military, well, actually, never mind. I take that back.
Well, no, like
what-
but security clearance and stuff, absolutely. So like FBI, CIA, lots of government jobs that require clearance, absolutely. Yeah, because they know that people who owe a lot of money are a lot more risk of a foreign entity being able to bribe them.
And I only asked that question because of the last comment based off of like there's the structure is a little bit different where there's a loan given out, but there's no appreciation to a degree, right?
Right.
So are we then rewarded by paying off that loan?
Wait a minute. There's no you said there's no appreciation in a degree.
No,
Right.
no.
in that you don't end up with a commodity that you can like resell or even use as like leverage against another, or you know, loan or
I just
anything
wonder
like that.
if you can leverage it if your loan is paid off because when you get a degree, it's all for private industry for the most part, right? Other than the government, like you say that if you apply for the government.
I'm curious though because like we're saying it's not. I agree with everything said so far, but then I mean there's this other thing in my head, just degree inflation. Like
Right. If anything,
you can't
it
turn
gets
around and
depreciated.
you can't turn around and sell it, yet it decreases in value over time. This indicates that at one point it had value, and though it might not. You know what? I don't know where I'm going with this. I think I'm
No,
just
but that's the thing. That's why it's like it's wholly unto itself in that you are buying something. You're basically like buying an experience, right? You're buying a piece of paper
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
cannot resell to anyone.
Yeah.
So it's one of the like hard, which I think is a big reason why like you can't declare bankruptcy against it because there's no asset to seize, right? Like someone can't seize your degree if you declare bankruptcy.
Right.
To
Yeah,
like
no, I'm
at least even partially pay back creditors. No, it's
Right.
so predatory. Like the fucking
Yeah, this is like actually terrible. Holy fuck.
yeah. Yep.
But I do appreciate it. Nice to meet everybody. My name's Marcus, by the way.
Hi, Marcus.
The host has had me. You already know me, but the host has had me up here a couple times, and I really respect your live because it's usually pretty chill. Sometimes it gets heated a little bit.
But only in fun ways.
Yeah, but no, it's good to meet everybody. I think I followed Josh. I'm in the process of hitting other people's buttons. Young Soft Serve, how are you?
What's up, Young?
What's up, y'all? How we doing?
We're good. I'm sleepy. How are you?
I'm hanging out in my garage.
Nice. What's going on in your garage?
A little bit of that devil's lettuce.
Nice. Nice. Oh.
Listening to
Alright,
you guys
DNC.
talk about debt and assets.
So exciting.
Yep. I'm lucky. I'm 26. I've never been in debt.
Really?
Yeah, partially luck, partially good decisions, but
At 26, you have not made any good decisions.
true.
So how do you not have student loans?
I went to community college and paid for it working at Lowe's,
Nice.
and I actually used my degree in my career
Nice.
now. Yeah, lucky, right?
That is lucky. Yeah. What can I ask like what sort of degree you got?
Yeah, computer aided design and drafting.
Oh, nice.
Now I kind of work as like a fake engineer, designing and engineering curtain wall.
Do you just call yourself a fake engineer?
Yeah, I mean, I can't stamp it, to make sure the
Right.
windows aren't going to fall out of the building, but
Right. Cool.
I can basically do everything.
It's really cool. I got a stupid fucking degree. I should not have
Me
gotten
too.
a degree.
Mine was broken.
What,
Wait,
what was
what
your
are
degree?
your all's degrees?
All right, who wants to go first?
Wait, you have to.
I have a film and TV production degree with a minor in psychology. I almost did a double major, but I was like 2 credits short. But I basically, because I didn't want to spend more money on college, I did it in 3 years rather than 4 by like doing extra credits every semester and doing like one summer of like 2 courses, I think it was. So I could do it in 3 years basically.
There you go.
But as a result, I even maxing out all of my credits every semester and doing those like summer courses. I was like 2 credits short of the double major. So, oh well.
All right, next.
But yeah, film and TV production. I did try to convince my mom not that like if I'm gonna go into film, I don't really need to. And she was like, "No, you need a fucking degree." Look how that turned out.
Don't you love how all of our boomer parents like were wrong about everything? And we
About
have enough-
everything?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, literally. So and now like only now as the world is on fire, we have enough mathematical data to just turn around and just be like, hey, I told you so.
Yeah.
And like for them
But-
to say no is like paramount with being like, oh yeah, the world's flat.
Yeah.
It's just this little.
You got
That's
a
what keeps me
master's
going.
in gooning, minored in jelking. Nice, lot hurts. Yeah, that and like, I don't know. I'm pissed at my mom today. She said that I looked crazy in my last post, and I was like, no one fucking asked you.
You specified that to your last post?
If she ever tells you that, you can just say, hey,
I'm
at least
sorry.
my generation didn't eat an entire planet.
Yeah, right.
Like literally, just clap back with that.
Eating.
Just be like, oh yeah, I look crazy. Your generation fucked the ozone. Which is worse, Mom?
What's worse? Yeah.
What's worse? Your generation fucked the ozone and clubbed a baby seal to unalivement. Ooh.
I mean, I feel like they didn't do that on purpose, though.
No,
know.
fuck them. I don't care. They definitely did. They had plenty of scientists.
Someone in their generation did. Not
had-
every single one of them, but plenty of
They
them.
had the
Right, but
They didn't need
Cayuga.
to use that amount of hairspray. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, seriously.
The ozone layer is fixed.
A river in Ohio was on fucking fire. I don't care.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. They did light an entire river on fire.
Think about how like smelly the Brits are, okay, and the Thames or the River Seine. Neither of those rivers have ever caught on fire. That happened here. That happened here.
That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. So I don't.
Did
So
you-
they're all culpable. Fuck them.
Did you all hear about that? How the canal? Which one is it? There's a major trade route, I believe. Probably Europe or somewhere. I can't remember the name of it. I don't want to. Maybe Suez.
That's Middle East.
Okay,
Suez Canal
I
is
think
like
that's what it is then. Where the water level is dropping so low that it's actually like impacting trade.
Yeah.
In what sense?
Yeah. It's
Did you
not
hear
good.
about that? I would like to cite a
I didn't hear
source,
about it.
but
But
Gotta look this up.
I have not looked it up yet. I just heard about it today. I wouldn't mind if somebody could.
Yeah,
just
I'll
because-
check it. Yeah.
Okay.
really quick, what's everyone's else's degrees? I'm kind of curious.
I have a
what-
degree in hard knocks. That's about it.
All right. There you go.
Which apparently,
Sir, it's actually the School of Hard Knocks. Your degree can be in whatever you want.
love it.
That's how I know that it's a fake degree.
Yeah, I went to the School of Hard Knocks, but I've got a bachelor's in bullshittedness. Is that a word?
Bullshittery, sir.
Bullshit.
Bullshittery. Thank you.
Bullshit.
You must be an English major.
Me? Oh, hell no. I can't read for shit. No, I'm a psychology. I was a psychology major and a music minor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
mine's yeah. I was gonna major as vocal performance and sing opera, but then was kind of like, you know what, that sucks, and I don't like the field. So yeah. So now I'm going back to school for piano performance because nothing matters anymore. And I'm curious about like doing a double major in international studies. Yeah.
You know what? I mean, I feel like that. Yeah. So
Panama
some.
Canal has seen issues with it's there's a lot. I'm reading
the
this
Panama
thing that's
Canal.
like about different canals, but Panama Canal, sees continued draft restrictions. There have been several issues with the Panama Canal in recent months related to low water levels. This is hampering vital Asia-U.S. East Coast trade.
That is
Yeah.
a big problem.
Joshua, you're the piano major?
I'm hoping to be a piano major. Right now, I am just, saving up some money and getting ready for an audition, essentially, to be a piano major. What's up?
Nice. I just played music. I was a percussionist. I play keys in a band.
Uh,
I almost went into that whole route in my life with music
Thank
and
you.
education, but
Thanks, Maz.
So for those of y'all who actually have degrees in this kind of stuff, I work with somebody that taught college level. He plays the trumpet and
can't
actually
hear?
plays for. I live in a city, and he
Thank
works.
you, Nas.
He plays in the symphony for the city, but and he used to also teach at the college level.
Thanks for
But
following.
when COVID happened, they cut all that out, and I mean he was well on his way to actually do something with his degrees and everything else.
Thank you, Nas.
Yeah, so for those of you who are music majors, I'm just curious, I mean, did you have the same type of impacts when COVID came around?
I feel like music
question's not
majors
for
are
me,
probably
so.
mostly for education.
I'm sorry, I genuinely could not hear any of what has happened.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of in a dead zone. I don't
Nico
know what
was
you were saying, Young. I'm
asking.
sorry, I completely missed it.
Yeah, go for it. Go again, Nico.
Okay, no, I work with somebody that used to teach college level music. He plays
Nice.
for the symphony locally. But COVID basically shut down the programs at the college level because it wasn't
that
essential
sucks.
apparently. But I was just curious for those of us who are, for those of you, not us, because I never did. But did you have any impact related to COVID with your degree?
So, yeah, actually, even with so yes, I did. When COVID hit, I was working as a youth behavioral specialist. I didn't major in music. I just had a minor. My major was in psychology. But in the field that I was working in at the time, which I was working with disabled children, children who had been traumatized, or children that were differently abled, kids with autism and the like. I graduated in 2018 and was working at this place as a youth behavioral specialist from about 2018 up to 2020. And essentially, it just March 13th, 2020, that date sticks in my head just like 9/11 to 2001, because everything stopped. We were all furloughed because a lot of the kids we worked with have medications that might compromise their immune system, or on a number of psychotropic medications that might, do something weird with their immune system, or are differently abled and have certain chronic illnesses. So the company that I worked for was just kind of like, yo, we're just not gonna we're just going to be hands off, you know. So yeah, work stopped, and that was my first red flag working in mental health, because I started making way more money on unemployment than I did working with children.
How is that possible? Because unemployment is based on how much you make.
It's possible because seriously, it was literally just the fact that, so I was employed in Wisconsin, and when you're on unemployment, you get paid weekly instead of bi-weekly.
Right, but isn't it based on your regular income anyway?
Yes, it is. But if you're getting that weekly,
Oh shit.
yeah,
They can't they don't figure that out?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I mean, I think like it was
Someone
just
fucked up.
no. It wasn't even that. I was getting
Someone
300.
fucked up.
I was getting 300 a week, and that shit stacked real fucking quick. When I didn't have to, because here's the other thing. You are expected as a part of this role to drive your own clients around in your own vehicle, because the company doesn't have a car for every single employee. That'd be insane. So a lot of this, my time spent working for this company, I was also dealing with the rising cost of gas.
But they're supposed to cover mileage and stuff. Do they not do that?
Yeah, the mileage is bullshit. They cover that at 15 cents a mile. That makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for this fucking century.
I feel like you probably qualified for some credits based off your situation.
What do you mean credits? Like,
From unemployment insurance. You know, my state runs L&I through unemployment too. But I feel like that based off of your particular job and circumstances, and the fact that you possibly didn't get reimbursed for your travel, and the fact that you did use your personal vehicle for work, I feel like that some of that was based on some of what you got from UI was probably credits, as opposed because like the host says, I feel like that's not normal to get more from unemployment compared to what you normally, your normal salary.
look, I don't know what to tell you. I do not know how the maths. Okay,
I mean,
when I was
first of
working,
all,
look,
congratulations.
when I was working, I guarantee you, my bank with living expenses. This is like in a fucking small town in Wisconsin. Like, I do not understand this. When I was working, I was getting paid $15 an hour. Okay, I could not, for the life of me, living with a roommate, splitting shit, I could not make $1,000 in my bank account. I could not do it.
Well, but it sounds like it's less about that you were getting paid more and more that you just had fewer expenses.
I mean, basically, yeah, and the fact that I was getting paid on a weekly basis instead of a bi-weekly basis. There was more frequency. Instead of waiting, to just hand it to me in a lump sum twice a week, it was just a continuous thing,
Do you mean, is that referring to your payment schedule? Is that referring to unemployment, or is that referring to your job?
To unemployment. Unemployment was paying me weekly, whereas when I was working, it was every other week, like usual. That was also a factor into this. 'Cause I had less expenses, and then I'm just getting every Sunday. It was just like, okay, I got furloughed, so I qualified, and yeah, it was insane. My bank account went from like barely able to get it to 1,000 in a pay period to, I think I'd saved up like eight grand at one point.
Follow on Twitch.
That's like the most, and that is like the singular most amount of money I have ever made in my life.
Held on to, saved.
Yes, and I made it on unemployment.
Because like you said, you were making 300 a week. How much were you making bi-weekly?
I was not making. Hang on 1 second. I had to bring up my calculator for this bullshit.
You don't know? You don't remember what you got paid every 2 weeks?
No, because it's been 4 years, and I've had several different jobs since then, and I've switched states. Give me a sec, because I was getting paid $15 an hour, So 15. So pre-taxes, I was making 600 a week.
600 a week or 600 every 2 weeks?
No, 600 a week. That is before
Okay.
taxes.
Okay, so yeah, so you were making less on unemployment. You're making half that on unemployment, but you were spending a lot less. So you were able to save a lot more.
No, I wasn't. I was getting 600.
You just said you were making 300 a week on unemployment, but when you were working, you were making 600 a week.
No, I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah. Hang on. Wait. When did I say I was making 300 on unemployment? I'm sorry.
Earlier, you said that you were getting paid 300 a week when on unemployment.
Oh my God. Sorry. No, 300 was like my rent, and I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I was. I'm fairly certain that my weekly payout was like 600 a week because after taxes for the pay period, I would get, I think, maybe like 900 or so. Maybe, I can't quite remember.
Okay.
My hours would also fluctuate, which didn't help because, and yeah, never mind the math. Yeah, these hours aren't consistent. That's the other thing, because you're working with children who are mentally ill. This is not generally a consistent population when it comes to keeping
Yes,
schedules.
no, unemployment is also taxed.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, but you have to pay, but usually depending on, so that's another thing, right? You can, with unemployment, you can basically ask them to withhold taxes or ask them to pay you the whole thing, and then you are in charge of paying the taxes at the end of the year. At least in New York City, that's how it works. So yeah, also if you were receiving your pay with the taxes withheld, which you most likely were, but your unemployment without the taxes withheld, that's another reason it's gonna seem higher. But ultimately you would have ended up paying those taxes some, like, one way or another.
Yeah, right. No.
That's highway robbery. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't capitalism always?
What does highway robbery even mean? As a definition, I always hear that, but I don't know.
Highway robbery, as a definition, just means like crazy and insane robbery. Like, it's just like, that's ridiculous that someone is charging you that or taking that much amount of money or whatever. Like, that's what it's meant.
I see.
Come to the highway and find out. Looks like you're looking to tussle too.
I will come to the highway and find out.
I don't mean to be like facetious here, but literally I just looked that up and it said definition: robbery found on the highway.
Oh my God.
So I can only imagine like someone like mugging a dude on the highway and just being like, oh, "Put your hands up, and this is a robbery," and the person being like, "Why no, good sir, this is a highway robbery." Just immediately.
Highway.
I don't know why they're British and why one is using a Cockney accent, but
I don't think they even call highways in the UK. Hi, Gavin.
no, they probably call it something
Downtown
dumb.
robbery.
They probably call it like a fiddly dumpsy dumpter.
The highway, also known as the fastest way to escape. Let's look it up. I feel like this is from like back when people were robbing.
Right, when people would be like,
stuff.
yeah.
The earliest known use of the noun highway robbery is the early 1600s.
Yep.
OD's earliest evidence. Damn.
So it's like bandits setting up.
Yeah, so the idiom
yeah.
originated from the criminal activity of robbing travelers on the highways or roads. Yeah, so it's like, yeah.
That's really just it. Okay.
But it's usually used for the practice of charging a price that is very high and usually unfair for something.
You know what? I'm gonna check my bank records and see what's what. I'm curious now.
Actually, we want to know your tax information. Can you please disclose it? I'm just playing. Please don't do that.
It's great. Union leaders delivered joint remarks. Oh, cool. Union leaders. Do you see that the UAW's filing labor charges against Elon and Trump for threatening union workers with getting fired, or threatening workers for unionizing in their little bullshit hangout? Hi, Vince. I don't know. It just says union leaders. I don't know who this is. Whoops. She's wearing a jacket that says CARE on it, so maybe is that a union? CARE, C-A-R-E. Sorry.
My head.
Sorry.
Oh man, unions are like the complexity to me.
The what?
Unions, it's a very complex issue to me. Not even an issue, but it's
In
like
what sense?
well, mostly like I enjoy. I'm leadership, right? So I really enjoy not having a union, but at the same time, I would never deny workers the right to have one. Like it is so much easier to, especially on a private level, to maintain the structure of metrics, if that makes sense. Like like for example, if a union was to go on a strike, like those metrics, well, first of all, hopefully your company is like smart enough to budget for a strike, as opposed to like just being like, well, now we're just gonna go belly up because of it.
Crispy. So Crispy asks, what if the union made your business fail? If your business fails because you can't pay workers reasonable wages and treat them, like give them a lunch break every 6 hours, like your business deserves to fail.
Yeah, your business is kind of shitty, so
Yeah, and on
They're
top
not
of that,
more harm than help.
the
No,
the
they're not.
biggest.
What do you fucking? You guys like really just take a lot of propaganda.
got some scabs in the comments.
I do believe that the hardest thing that would be
Some
to deal
screamers.
with, if say for example your business did make a mistake, right? And I think it's the fines that get you more than anything else, not necessarily whether or not you pay your employees well enough. I think the fines could actually really take down a business that uses that has a union structure.
I mean, like basic labor laws in this country are all from unions, so you're welcome. I'm not even in a union, and I'm like, are we fucking stupid?
I'm trying to get
No,
my
I
I'm
want
trying
it.
to get my workplace to unionize. It's a bitch and a half.
Nice.
Because
I
yeah,
want
it's
it
a
100%
nonprofit.
for me and my people, but I don't have any experience in it, and I'm super worried I will not be able to handle it because I don't. The retention of laws and everything else like that is not strong with me. So I just worry when we do go down that road because we'll be public one day, and that's going to be the best opportunity for shops within my company to unionize. And I just worry that I can't
It's
handle
hard
it.
to join SAG. No.
So anyways, that's my little spill on that. I'm just scared for the fact that my lack of knowledge could lead to possibly not being employed with, in my opinion, the best company I've ever worked for. So
I mean, if you're fired for trying to organize a union, your company has broken federal law.
That's not true, Upchuck. That's such a fucking lie.
What?
yeah, private companies don't have
Oh,
to,
Upchuck.
as far as I know.
Wait. Hang on. I'm confused. Brenna,
What?
were you speaking to Perez to Upchuck when you said that wasn't true? Or
Yeah, the only businesses that don't fail after unionization have endless government contracts. That's not true.
Okay, my bad. I was confused. Yeah, no. So it's still illegal for a company to fire somebody for organizing a labor union.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you just have to be.
Oh
really,
yeah.
really,
Sorry, that's what you were saying. Sorry, yeah, I said object.
That
but
was
yeah.
that was. Oh, my bad. I did
Just
not.
trying to let you guys talk without.
I mean, a company as a whole, though, right? Like, so say for example, you work for a multinational corporate company that has a parent company overseas, and you literally employ 60,000 people. What percentage of those people have to apply for unionship for that company to not be protected under that rule anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a level? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, one out of, say I worked for a local private company, that one person out of 60 applied for unionship.
They
And
can't fire that person.
Well, no,
joining
I get that, but do you have to actually, as a company, say, okay, now we're a union? You can't punish them for it, but do you actually have to follow through with doing it?
No. For that to be illegal? For that to be illegal, you mean? Like, does a union have to be formed for the firing to be illegal?
No. I mean, do you actually have to like create a union just because like one out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a percentage of people within your company that have to apply for it or request it?
Agree to, yeah. There's like a vote.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the percentage is.
Yeah, it's something like 2/3 or something. But that's why there's like usually a vote. And that's why like companies like, thank you, animal crackers. That's why there's like, you hear these stories of like, oh, Amazon workers were voting on this, but like Amazon was intimidating workers by doing, whatever, XYZ and all these accusations because if it gets to that point, there's a vote and the company wants to dissuade people from voting yes on the union as much as possible.
Nonprofits are probably the worst, I think, when it comes to like labor relations. Like nonprofits are like the most anti-union workplaces I've ever experienced.
Nonprofits?
Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
It depends on the nonprofit.
And nonprofits in the mental health sector are the worst offenders.
Sure. Because I know nonprofits that literally their cause is unions. So.
Okay. Shit, I didn't.
To be fair.
I'm just gonna extract part of my foot from my mouth. just direct all my angst at the mental health sector.
Yeah. Why am I so sleepy?
Because we're not entertaining you enough. Let's find some controversy.
Let's get a Trumper.
Everybody here.
Let's get a Trumper up here. Let's get
Let's
weird.
talk about 9/11.
There's a bunch of photos actually that came out that were declassified. I've been seeing them all over my FYP.
Tea time? Yeah, I'm at Philippe's though, so I don't have. He does have a Celsius though. Should I have that?
No, don't do that. No, drink water.
Apparently, it only has like 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is like 2 cups of coffee.
So are you trying to get up early tomorrow or no?
I am, but it's also like 8 p.m.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Just drink some water.
Fine.
Just drink some water. I'm the small voice in your head telling you to make healthy choices.
That's 2 cups of coffee, guys. You guys, it's less than 2 cups of coffee, actually.
That's where it starts.
Sorry, I don't drink caffeine. I'm straight edge.
Enlightened.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
How much? Okay. And a cup of tea. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot less
Yeah, there's a lot like that.
in tea.
You know what has no caffeine but will keep you awake?
What?
Solvents.
Okay. Manzanilla tea is that's chamomile.
Chamomile is
Which
also
doesn't have caffeine.
No, that will have the opposite effect. That will make you sleepier.
That makes you sleepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twisted tea.
Yeah. I was obviously kidding about solvents. Don't huff anything,
I'm not
children.
going to.
I know you won't. And for the other 30 people here who might.
I
You
was
know-
wondering where to get a solvent from. Like, is that in like the produce section of the grocery store?
It's the hardware store.
Is there- oh,
Yeah, or your local gas station.
Snow can. Yeah, that
This
too. Local
fucking
gas.
computer dusters got me feeling
Junk drawers usually have some super glue in there that you can take a good
Your
whiff
average
of.
your average cleaning cabinet, is
I'm sorry. You were too scientific for me.
yeah.
Solvent.
You're just it's some pretty gringy shit,
I mean, being a Trump supporter, I just don't think I understand words and stuff.
I'm
That's
not a
okay.
Trump supporter.
That's right. I'm also not a good languager.
Languager.
I don't know if I do.
Love
Let me
it.
check the fridge.
I don't know language real good.
She's gonna go find a solvent in the fridge.
All right.
She's gone, guys. Talk about your 9/11
Yeah.
conspiracies.
She's short, she's old looking, and
You think it actually happened?
Don't, you're not alone.
Wait a minute. You believe 9/11
watching you.
actually happened?
Not
I'm
me.
watching y'all.
I'm not
I'm
no
listening.
sheep, brother.
Sounds like someone's a sheep. I'm just,
that wasn't even in our country. You all know that, right?
no, I was in our country.
No, QAnon. Now,
Oh yeah. Oh.
yeah, that was like a stage thing in Bangladesh, and they literally hired like 16,000 white Americans to run around like they're crazy.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Also, La Hertz. You want to fuck out of here with that? That's weird.
wait, what? Who? Who's
La
kind of
Hertz. La
butt
Hertz.
hurts?
No, La Hertz.
Oh, butt hurts. I thought you said butt hurts.
No.
Wait, is it? Are you talking about a comment?
No.
Yeah, he said she does look really old for her age, and I was just kind of like, that's.
We
not a
normally
good
just
comment.
let the trolls troll, though.
Yeah, somebody said you were short and old. I don't know who said that.
Watch American politics long enough, and you're not gonna look like a spring chicken yourself.
Someone said I was what?
I got gray hair. I'm 26. What the fuck?
Somebody said you were short and old. I don't know who said that.
No. La Hertz said she does look
old for my age. Yeah, I look very. Immediately switched to objectifying women. Nice, Jam.
You know what? Are you seriously like the live action person of Tina from Bob's Burgers?
Me?
Of course not, honey. She doesn't talk like her.
You don't either. That's not what she sounds like.
Well, I think that was a little bit below the belt there, brother.
Oh my god.
I think I can't quite talk like her, but I think I could talk like the handyman guy, the guy
Yeah,
who's always wearing the
that's
Oh my
Carhartt pants.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's like the only impression for Bob's Burgers that I could actually get down.
That's so funny. That's
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
Please
That's
be
really
my
kind of
friend.
you.
You're my friend forever right now.
Oh, thank you very much, Crown My person. I think you'd be a good friend too.
He speaks a little bit slower than that, but
Yeah, that is true. It's only because I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
It's a very delicate impression. There's a little bit of nasal, a little bit of East Coaster, mixed with a little bit of Brooklyn, and a little tiny lisp.
yes. Look, this is Neo. Hi, Neo.
Oh, it's a baby.
Is there enough water in here?
Is this a boy?
Yeah, Neo's a boy. So is Max. These are not my cats. I'm allergic to the cats.
Oh, little baby.
What are they doing in your house?
They're not in my house. I'm at Philippe's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're allergic to them? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's such a bit. You know
That's
what?
rough.
Out of all the things that could go wrong in life, you're allergic to cats.
I know.
That's rough.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with cats. I mean, I love cats, but like, and I had a cat, but then as I got older, I developed an allergy to him. It's very sad. And now, you know, I come here and I take allergy meds, but it is a little rough to stay here for extended periods because I'm like, maybe that's why I'm so sleepy. Actually, that it might be the allergy meds that I've been taking.
That would, you know what? We've connected the dots.
I think that's what it might be.
Bit
Shit.
by bit, putting it together.
Does anyone have recommendations for allergy meds that won't, you know, put you to sleep? And by you, I mean me.
Claritin.
Claritin?
Take Claritin. Yeah, the daytime one. All those other antihistamines will cause you to be very drowsy.
Do you know what the like chemical in Claritin is? 'Cause I feel like I just have some generic ones. Loratadine. The one I have. Or Loratadine. Allegra, Zyrtec. I feel like I took Zyrtec the first couple times and that definitely knocked me out. But I don't know. Maybe I should try them again. Ugh.
It's going to be the same antihistamine. It's just going to be a lower dose
Wait, Claritin?
for Claritin. Yeah.
Oh, so Loratadine is generic of Claritin. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the one. Because I googled it a
Claritin's
while
like
back.
yeah, it's just a much smaller amount.
So Claritin is Loratadine or whatever? Loratadine?
Yeah, there's pretty much only two of them that they use for that, for allergies, and that's Loratadine, or however you say that, and that other one that I cannot say the name of. That's the only two antihistamines that they use for allergies.
Okay.
The only other one I think is Zyrtec that's supposed to that claims that there's less drowsiness under it.
That's because it adds caffeine.
Is that what it is?
Adds
Okay.
caffeine in it. Yeah, they give you caffeine to go with it. Sorry. Useless information, I know, for no good
No,
reason.
it's not useless. It's what I need. I need to know these things.
But yes, that's the crazy thing about like the pharmaceutical companies to me is like that the only two things I've ever learned about like taking a pill is the difference between sodium and whatever ibuprofen is, acetaminophen. Like to me, like there's two different reactions, chemical reactions that produce the same result almost. And yeah, I get it. Maybe the pharmaceuticals are like, hey, our people need options based off of how they feel when they take
Yeah.
a certain substance.
I
But
don't think some people are allergic to one and not the other. And Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, I don't. It's weird because I feel like there's no like hardcore science that says this is why people react this way, right? Other than the fact that, well, maybe a certain enzyme in your body doesn't react properly. When we came out with pharmaceuticals, it's like, okay, well, it's never a one size fits all type of thing.
Well, are you talking in general or specifically for these things?
Just in general, obviously, yeah, in general, like even like some of the narcotic based drugs that we use to administer to people in pain. We all do react differently. Like we there's so many reasons why we're the same, like genetically, but there's also like probably more reasons why we're not the same on a physiological level.
Actually, we're mostly pretty much the same.
Well, yeah,
The people who have to take
carbon
the other
and
ones,
water. Yeah.
the other ones the people who have to take the other medicines, they are the exception to the rule.
Right,
Sorry,
but that's
more
why the
useless information.
pharmaceuticals exist, and I was only making my context based off of that smaller percentage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
What is that? Is that a tampon?
Is it green tea? Green tea?
Oh no,
No.
you don't put that in there.
Darjeeling tea.
Tazo. Yeah, is it Tazo or Tazo?
I would think Tazo.
That's how I say it.
No, I wish. We don't have milk. I got his. He brought me his
Wait,
milk.
you put milk in tea? What?
This is, if he wanted, the definition of if he wanted to, he would, ladies. I mentioned that I was out of milk and he brought me his milk. And so now his milk is at my place. And now I'm at his place and there's no milk.
I'm just baffled. You put cow juice into tea.
Well, oat milk, but yeah, you put milk into tea, of course. Of course. You've never put milk into tea?
Juice.
No, I haven't. This thought disturbs me and perplexes me.
What is wrong with you? Really? You've never put milk into tea?
Brenna, you don't know this about me. I was raised in a cult. The list of things wrong with me, it's not a list so much as it is a book, okay?
What cult?
Plymouth Brethren, don't have time to get into it. Very Christian.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna look this up.
No,
Go-
I'm
go
interested
ahead.
too.
God damn it.
You brought it up, dude.
She started it. She asked what's wrong with me, and I'm like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough battery strength on my phone. I'm at 5% anyway.
Plymouth Brethren. So a hyper Christian.
Yeah, hyper Christian, sola scriptura. The usual women. Sola scriptura. Oh, were you not raised? You were not raised religious, were you?
No.
Damn. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, sola scriptura. We talk about religion. I've talked about religion. Both my parents were raised religious, and both were like, I don't think so. I don't know what.
So sola scriptura just literally means what it sounds like. Sola only, scriptura scripture. Yeah. Or solo scriptura.
Lutherans, right?
No, yes. It depends though, because that's sola scriptura. That's more of a Protestant. It's more of a, because there are some shit. I guess some Lutherans would go by sola scriptura, but I feel like it would depend on the Lutheran, because they might use sola scriptura in other ways, but then would rely on whatchamacallit, freaking orthodoxy in other respects with regards to their liturgy, like transubstantiation and all that fucking bullshit. So it would really depend.
I don't believe they.
No, I'm not saying Lutheranism is a cult.
I deep dove because I was dating a Lutheran a year and a half ago, and I deep dove it to just because it turned out he didn't believe in whatchamacallit, evolution. But so I was deep diving all that. I can't remember. They have a weird thing on transubstantiation.
Yeah.
There's also two different schools of thought within the Lutheranism, but whatever. They're very much just the scripture is all you need, and scripture is the God gave.
Yeah, that's sola scriptura.
Yeah, God gave the scripture to all humans. It's the word of God. So if you want to know what God would think, just look at the scripture. Don't rely on. There's no priest who can tell you better than the scripture itself, because the scripture is the word of God.
Right. Yeah, no, the Plymouth Brethren. The Plymouth Brethren is a somewhat radical offshoot.
I know.
Wait, what?
Nobody said that's not transubstantiation, and I'm saying I know. That's sola scriptura.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's the Plymouth Brethren are an offshoot of Anabaptists to some degree.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you've probably about Mennonites and Amish people. The Plymouth Brethren are a distant, a somewhat relative to them, only they're not hostile towards technology. Some kind of can be, and do get fairly close with more Mennonite or Amish communities, but in general, technology is not really a big stickler for them. What is though is exclusivity and not allowing outsiders, quote unquote, into the church. So, for example, if you wish to join a Brethren church and you are not a known affiliate of that specific church, if you show up without a letter of recommendation in the more liberal, I guess, and again, I'm using this word very loosely, in the more liberal churches, you would be allowed to sit in on the service, you just wouldn't be allowed to take communion. I don't know how they would go about that, but that would be the case. If in the more exclusive churches, I mean, what's called exclusive brethren, if you were to show up, someone might just come up and talk to you and ask you to leave, or like escort you out the door.
Right. Wow. Ain't no hate like Christian love.
Amen.
By faith alone, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? By faith alone, that's what that comes down to.
Yeah, but so it's funny. The Anabaptists and the Lutherans are very closely tied. There's like one split that happened. I'm trying to remember, but because it's like, I mean, yeah, the Sola Scriptura thing is like similar. Where I think it all kind of happened around the same time where they split off, and that was actually part of like. It's related to like the Gutenberg Bible, so it was like the first time was started like that the Bible was like printed, or that anything was really printed and then spread around. And until then, only priests, not only, but like not most people couldn't read, right?
Yep.
Like, and so it was this huge revolution of like, yeah, the Gutenberg Bible was made more available, and then as a result, like more and more people were able to learn to read, and there was like this push by the Anabaptists and Lutherans, who I think at that point were the same group, to basically be like everyone should learn how to read, and you should not depend on a specific person to be able to access the Word of God or whatever.
Right.
And it was like, and I think the Anabaptists were like weirdly, like tied to like basically what resulted in like one of the first kind of feminist movements, which seems like counter. It's like it goes against like your instincts, but like counterintuitive. But it was like, I think it was like the first time that like it was. That women were given the same like level of access to the Word of God or whatever it was. I don't fucking know. I can't remember. But it's been a few years since I really
I could see that. I can't speak for that because I don't know nearly enough about Anabaptism. I do know, however, that the Plymouth Brethren they were formed kind of in some. They were part of what's called the dispensationalist movement, and this was basically this really weird sort of like pushback. This happened around the time of I don't like how this coincides with this, to some degree. I think coincides with like the Civil War in the U.S. and with slavery, and so like the Civil War was like just absolutely fucking horrific, you know. And a lot of this movement, I think, somewhat was inspired by the sort of like, you know, the shock and the brutality of warfare, and meeting sort of industry for like the first time. And the dispensationalist movement was basically this sort of like, you know what, this world is like absolute trash, it's evil, there's nothing here that can be saved, so fuck it. If the US wants slavery, whatever the US decides, or the outcome of this war, whatever, you know, or any war for that matter, nothing matters. All that matters is that this world will end at some point, and Christ will return, and the faithful will go to heaven. And this movement then started in Plymouth, England, to some degree, and then by the time it reached the U.S., then it really got popular with the advent of the Civil War, and then over time it blossomed into this wonderful, wonderful thing that we now know as evangelical Christianity, and it is the fervor that is now driving the genocide in the Middle East.
I hope you're being sarcastic.
No, sir, I wish I was, but I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
No
and
way.
it's also driving. I'm not even kidding you when I say it is driving a lot of the politicians on the Republican side. Sure, some of them may be bought off by big oil and other interests. A lot of them, though, that aren't, are voting against climate legislation solely based on this sort of religious indoctrination that, you know what, this world is as filthy rags and deserves to burn. And it says in Revelation, it's
that's
crazy.
my biggest fear as far as when it comes to conservative people.
It's happening.
I've been like conservative my entire life,
Yeah.
and this is like, but also I was taught like the separation of church and state. But you're right. I mean, with the big T, I think it's going to be a naughty word. I don't even think we can say that on TikTok anymore. But the big T, you all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I just, it did become more religious than politics. And I'm disappointed in that. And I did not, I'm surprised that,
Izzy,
that
thank
the
you.
Conservative Party went that direction, and I'm
you,
sad
Izzy.
about it.
Yeah.
Thank
Me too.
you.
But it was but I'm sad about it too. But it was a very
Thank
long
you,
time
Izzy.
coming, my dude. And
Yeah.
you can see it in things like Focus on the Family, in Bill Goddard's Advanced
Thank
Training
you, Izzy.
Institute.
Holy shit.
Damn, way to go, Izzy. Fuck.
Thank you. Thank you, Izzy.
On the plus side, I'm actually hopeful for the Conservative Party. If they do want to just create their platform, 90% based off of religious and virtual values, that I'm still hopeful, because one thing I know about religion is that it adapts when it fails.
Yeah, it's not a good thing in this case, mate.
No, not in this case,
Izzy,
but
thank you.
just overall in general for the world,
Izzy.
it's.
Izzy, did you fall asleep with your finger on the button?
Unfortunately, when we do go through those periods, it's horrible for the rest of us.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's gonna be really awful for people that are not believers.
Damn.
Yeah.
I do like Mother Earth. Like, if I was to be like,
Thank
expressing any type of ideology beyond our political spectrum, I'm all about
Thank you, Izzy.
connecting and grounding, and I love Mother Earth more than anything else. So
Yeah, man.
I just wish we, other than like the Eastern philosophies, I wish that America would adopt more of that.
Yeah. Me too, man.
Well, what about you?
you.
I mean, Mormons, man, I
Congratulations,
They
you
are
got the
disappointed,
rose in my
aren't they?
gift gallery.
Mormons?
My
I
brother-in-law
don't
is
fuck
a
with it.
ex-Mormon.
Izzy, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I don't fuck with Mormons. They're low key kind of racist.
yeah, but they're just
There's a hell of a lot of people who are racist
right?
that aren't Mormon.
Oh no, I'm aware. Oh, I'm aware, but not a lot of
Izzy,
people.
what the fuck?
Like young Mormons
Thank
who
you.
went and did their
Thank you, Izzy.
2-year mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a single one of them that did not. That they were all taught humility by doing that, right?
Thank you, Izzy.
And
A humble racist is still a racist,
Nobody.
and those missions are
liberals
still
are all
screwing
racist.
people over.
Yeah,
Right.
no, nobody.
right,
Some
but
of them aren't, though.
I'm not talking about the racism aspect.
can't
I
fucking
won't take that from
completely
you,
call them
though.
Mormon.
But I'm telling you, Mormons, they got it wrong in a lot of ways.
No, they are nobody. Nobody, you already lacked the comprehension to understand that we were talking about two separate things when we talked about transubstantiation and sola scriptura, and you thought you would come in here and try to correct us when I told you clearly several times that we understand that they're not the same thing. Don't come in here trying to act. No, I'm talking to nobody in here who's saying that all liberals are racist. And
Not all liberals are racist.
thank you,
Not all
Izzy.
Mormons are
I'm
racist.
just saying, you can't, if you can't follow basic, grammar to
I mean, I'm not
understand
gonna lie, I don't
speech.
know those
I'm not
words
expecting you to understand race either.
So I'm not going to say that all Mormons are racist, which I guess, maybe I was going off half-cocked.
Thank you, Izzy.
No, I get
Fucking
you, dog.
weirdo.
But which half?
Religion and their theocracy
Thank you, Izzy.
fundamentally.
I'm just being a douche and defending Mormons.
Oh, okay.
Who the fuck else is gonna?
Wait a minute. I would love for a
Thank
Mormon to
you.
be up here. Like, if my buddy was,
Izzy.
I'm definitely
you know,
I
gonna
if,
am
join
related
as
to
well.
an ex-Mormon, if that counts.
I dated a
No.
Mormon when I was in middle school. It was my first boyfriend. Thank you,
Aww.
Izzy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did he? You know what? Never mind. I don't. Just leave that alone.
you're right. It's not.
He's not a
tangible.
Mormon anymore. We had, it's funny, like about a year ago, we like reconnected. We had like some, was it like a year ago? I don't know. At some point, we had like some he posted a thing on Facebook because he used to make fun of me for liking like Avril Lavigne or whatever. And he posted this thing. He was like in the grocery store, and she was playing on the thing. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you. You were, Izzy? Do you want to come up here and talk about Mormonism? But he filmed, so he basically took a video like of the radio playing it, and he posted it like on my wall or what, I don't know. And he said, every time I hear this song, like I think of you, and and I'm so sorry I ever made fun of you for liking this because it's a banger. And which is very funny. So, and then we ended up having like a FaceTime that was like 3 hours long, just being like, what the fuck is up, dude? He's this guy that I dated when I was like 12, I thought it was cute.
That is cute.
But he's no longer Mormon.
Good for him. He figured it out.
Oh yeah, he figured it out a long time ago.
Good.
Most of my friends did.
Good for him. Good for
But
him.
yeah,
As much as I would like my own planet,
you want your own planet.
It'd
She
be
did,
dope.
Dan.
It would be dope. I prefer my own magnetar and or black hole.
Can I claim this planet as my own?
You have to fight me for it.
There's a long, there's a really big licensure process. You have to go to the DP. Hang on. Yeah, the DPA, the Department of Planetary Acquisitions. You can fill out there's a reference form. I'm a case manager, so that means I know all of this.
Got it.
Reference form. You're gonna need insurance. You need planet insurance. You got planet insurance?
Wait, Izzy, I can get planet insurance. I will.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So get a quote, get a policy.
Get a policy. Christian. So Izzy saying Christians believe good people go to the bad place, but Mormons believe you can be a good person and end up still in heaven. I don't know that Christians really think that, do they? Do Christians think that bad people or that good people end up in the bad place?
That depends on which Christians or which sect
true.
of Christians you're talking about.
Fair
They all do it
point.
differently.
Okay.
Do we have any Christians here that need roasting? Because I'm in the mood for roasting some Christians.
I love God. Give it to me.
I've been
Roast them
kind of
and
busy, but
toast
I'm,
them.
yeah. We call it cooking them, cooking those Christians.
You need to be saved and
I'm
follow the Bible.
skateboarding for Jesus.
Skateboarding for Jesus.
Buddy Elf.
Someone's asking to come up.
Wait, that wasn't Christian.
Oh, Izzy wants to come up. Hi, Izzy.
Izzy.
Izzy, I
Hi,
believe, was our
Izzy.
ex-Mormon, yeah?
Or current
Well,
Mormon.
I don't really think you should belittle someone just because of what they believe and you disagree with their belief. Like 41 days ago, I am a addict. I'm a high functioning addict. I spend like $1,800 on substances, and 41 days ago I was dope sick, really bad, and then I was going to use, but for some reason I didn't. I just sat at the edge of my bed and I just said, God, take this away. And I don't really believe in God, so I don't know why I did that. And then all of a sudden my sickness went away, and I have not had the urge to use since then. I think kind of like degrading or belittling people just because they have a certain faith, I think is wrong. I think the trouble comes is when they try to push their faith on others, or then when they try to make laws so that people could obey their faith. That's wrong. But just a person just having a faith in some kind of like higher power or what they believe to be God, I don't think you should say that you want to belittle them just because
Well,
they
Izzy, I mean, I agree, and I don't think anyone in here said that they want to belittle that. And sure, jokes will be made and stuff. We talk about religion in here sometimes, and I always say kind of the same, like, you can believe whatever you want. But I think everyone, and especially if it's like a personal, like, spirituality thing, I think we have multiple people on this panel right now who have had negative experiences with religion, with like actual religious institutions and religion as it was taught to them, which I think is very different from spirituality. So, I'm not going to sit up here and defend, religious institutions and whatnot. I will defend your and anyone's right to believe whatever they want. I will also not defend the right of anyone to try to act as though, their beliefs should trump anyone else's, or their beliefs, are like entitle them to act like they know better than anyone else or anything like that. Like, I'm an equal
I agree with
opportunity, like, everything. I'm not speaking for everyone on my panel. I know some people, especially those with negative experience with religion, are a lot more critical of just beliefs in general. And I will make fun of beliefs, but I make fun of all beliefs, all of them. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I don't target the person. It's their religious beliefs that I go after and question, and I don't have to respect the religion. I'll respect the person, sure, as long as they're given respect, but I don't have to respect the religion.
Yeah, I don't have to respect a religion either. And I mean, I will absolutely respect people's right to believe them, because we do.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right. In this country, we do have the freedom of religion, so long as it's kept separate from governmental mechanisms. But it's one of those things that I'm glad that you have had a positive experience with whatever faith or deity of your choice. That is helping you combat addiction. I would encourage you to also seek some therapy in tandem with whatever faith you choose. But if we're gonna discuss this in a critical setting, I can spin that around and say, look, I'm a cult survivor. I know people who have wound up in addiction because of faith. I know people who have turned their whole life around because they found a phrase in a holy book that they believed indicated that they had to move to the other side of the planet, and then they fucked off their whole life savings and came back and were penniless. I've seen people fall for scams in the spiritualist realm. That shit's not getting away from me either, because that's a bunch of horse shit. I've seen people get scammed and forego life-saving medical procedures because, you need this spell or you need this rock on your chest. Like, no, I do not have any freedom to take your right to belief away, but I have as much freedom to critique it as you have the right to believe.
Sure.
No, I think the issues come when people try to force their personal faith onto others and try to make laws.
Sure.
So
that's one version of issues. That is one area where issues come in for sure.
Because if it's a personal belief, it doesn't really hurt anybody as long as it's their own personal belief.
Sure.
It is really hard to explain what happened. Because I've been to rehab like 6 times in Texas, Colorado, and in New Mexico. So it's really difficult because I do believe in science and I know the arguments against Christianity. So it's really hard to define what happened to me.
Well, I would actually.
Because I haven't been dope sick since that day, and I would have to use like every 2 days.
Right. But Izzy, I would actually just point out, because you said you asked God to take your pain away, or the dope sick away, and which I believe you had the experience you had, but now I find it interesting that you're defaulting to Christianity. How do you know that the God you spoke to was the Christian God and not the Muslim God, or the Hindu God, or
That's just my reference point. But I do know about the Islam faith, some about Buddhism, and the one with the multi gods and the pyramids and stuff. I forgot what it's called.
Which one? There's several like that. That would be that could be the Egyptians. That could be the ancient Hindus or the Vedic
Hinduism.
worshippers.
Hinduism.
Okay, but I'm saying like even when you're saying that, that's like you do understand there's several different religions that have those attributes.
Yeah, but I meant that's like more predominant than like Wahhabism. You won't know what that was until like IS showed up, because they're a small sect in southern Saudi Arabia. So we wouldn't know anything about them unless, because of what happened. That's the only reason why the people know about them. I'm just talking about predominant, not like, like you have category A, then you have sub whatever. So
yeah. This tea's bitter.
but I hope you liked the gifts. I figured
Thank you, Izzy. I do appreciate them very
I
much.
sent you like enough. Wait, you can't even buy a candy with what I sent you.
Let me see. Let's see. So let's see. Well, I don't know how many of these. So total diamonds, 966, which is like, I can actually, $4.83. Though some of that was from Nas as well. Thank you, Izzy. Now you don't have to send me a bunch of gifts. If I could, TikTok takes like 70%, 60% of it. But thank you, Izzy. Thank you. I'm sorry that you felt we were making fun of you. I'm not gonna say that we don't make fun of religions here. We do, of course, but not usually like, we're not intending to make fun of good people who believe things that we don't believe.
Oh, I didn't take it as direct as me. I was just thinking, because he was saying I want to roast some Christians. I just think that I don't think you should like attack someone just because they believe something.
No, sure, but
Oh yeah, I said that because I hang out. I don't know if you have you seen Skits and Bits on here.
Ooh, I see Skits and Bits every now and then.
No, I don't know who that is.
He's a really funny guy, and I don't know. He's a good friend, and I hang out with him a lot. So I picked up on some of his little sayings. It's sometimes he plays both sides. I do the same thing sometimes. Sometimes I, like the last night or night before last, there was a bunch of atheists on the panel and only one religious person. So I'm like, okay, I'm changing sides because this is not fair. Because they wasn't doing a very good job of, helping the Christian movement out. So I just, because it's fun. It's just,
okay.
so I pick up a lot of his sayings and things. We're like, oh, we're cooking. Sometimes we're cooking the atheists. Sometimes we're cooking the Christians. It just makes it more fun. It's more comedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes like
I will say, Izzy, I
was helping out so much that the preacher guy was all like, "Would you please stop helping me?"
Goes to show the road to atheism is paved with people who know their Bible.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's a trick.
But no, I don't never like just pick on the person. I'll pick away at them and poke holes in their religion. it's fun, it's entertaining, and I just enjoy it.
And I will say that's kind of what we do here in general. It's usually more just like political stuff, but I'll have people come up here with conspiracy theories, with all sorts of things, and I just like to check the logic of anyone's beliefs, and no matter what they are. That's the fun part for me personally.
You can be angry at me because like I'm the one who in this live brought up the subject of religion. That one is on me. I will take that because I brought it.
It's okay. No. It's because we do talk about religion in here all the time, but usually it's because someone comes in here and they're trying to convince us to believe something. Like someone's in here being like, "You're going to hell," and I'm like, "All right, let's investigate this."
That.
Yeah. Let's
Will rise
let's follow that.
But Mormons do believe you could be a good person and end up in heaven. Well, Christians, or the majority of Christianity, believes that you would have to accept Jesus to go to heaven. Because in the Mormon faith, there's like different levels of heaven. The top one is where you get to have your own planet. And then the second one is you're like heaven. And then the third one would be like you're here on Earth, but it's perfect.
Hey, Izzy, have you ever heard of the term Lamanite as it relates to Mormonism?
No.
Yeah, because there's a book in the Book of Mormon called Lamentations or something like that, I believe.
Yeah. Do you know who the Lamanites are?
I think the black people.
Yeah, they're anybody. No, not just.
Yeah,
it's
anyone
who just isn't white. And
yeah.
This is a
they're
fundamental.
The bad people, or they didn't fight, or something like that.
So, do you see how this is like super, 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 super fucking racist?
Well, I was a Mormon for a while, and I didn't see.
I'll repeat the question. Do you see how that is super fucking racist?
Well, yeah, I could see that back then.
Do you understand that no? If someone holds that belief now, that is a racist fucking belief.
Oh, yeah, but they don't really preach that anymore.
Well, do they adhere to the teachings of not of Joseph Smith and of a few from Brigham Young?
It varies, but a lot of them. But that belief, they don't really teach it anymore, and then how they cover it is they say that new revelations are spoken to the prophets.
I see
that's how they get away with that.
I forgot. God changed his mind about melanated people in the 70s. My mistake. I remember.
Well, actually, they were losing football games, so they decided that they needed people to help them.
Again, I repeat what I said. God changed his mind.
I think, Joshua, I think you guys are agreeing with each other. I think you're on the on the same side of this.
Yeah. So again, super racist, and that can fuck off.
Yeah.
I think they're like, we keep on losing. We need some of these players. I had a revelation. They're not bad people.
Have you heard of, oh my God, what's the name of that? I think it's called Black Menaces. Like, Izzy, have you heard of them?
No, that's why quite a few of them's been going to Philippines and getting Filipino women and bringing them back to the States.
Oh, that's
this Mormons? Is that a thing that's going on in the Mormon church right now?
Yep.
Yeah, and then
really?
That is weird as fuck.
Because I remember one time I was leaving church and I was in the parking lot and I looked back and I've never seen so many white people on one location. And I'm like, and I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It should be different. There was like a whole group of you guys, and I got kind of scared for a little bit.
What the fuck?
I was like, when there's more than 5 of you guys hanging around, it's not very good for Hispanic people.
Yeah, I can't argue that at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
So wait, that's the thing. So like Mormons are like trafficking Filipino women?
No, they're going to the Philippines and they are marrying them and then bringing them back to the States.
So like just passport bros / neocolonialism essentially.
Yeah.
I know like 6 guys that were single and then they went to the Philippines and found their wives and came back.
Okay, I'm trying to like find.
That's
I'm
just
just
fucking-
googling this.
I don't know if it's like a massive trend, but it's happening in Albuquerque.
So Izzy, there's a group, an influencer group on Instagram called Black Menaces, and they are located on campus at Brigham Young University, and they will ask random students and or staff at Brigham Young some very interesting questions. Well, I believe one was a quote from Brigham Young, who basically, I think the quote went something like this: "If a white person doth mix their blood with a member of the Lamanite race, they are to be unalived on the spot without question." And they basically,
How is that a question? That's not a question. That's a
That's-
statement.
I'm quoting Brigham Young.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
This is what Brigham Young said about this, is like with regards to like interracial marriage.
Yeah.
And so they'll say this quote as an example. They will be like, "Who said this? Was this Brigham Young or like Adolf Hitler?" And it is very interesting seeing people's reactions. And they don't stick with just questions like this. They'll ask questions about politics, domestic affairs. It's like definitely a solid thing to look into.
You really don't see that many interracial marriages between Black and white Mormons.
Yeah, wonder why.
How many Black Mormons are there?
Not a lot.
We have 2 in my ward. But it was a family, husband and wife. But you rarely ever see like a Black Mormon married to a Caucasian Mormon. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But what were you guys talking prior to this? Were you guys talking about movies?
No, Joshua was telling us about the cult he was raised in. We were discussing.
NBD. Yeah, just like you, Izzy. I was raised in a cult.
No, I wasn't raised a Mormon. I became a Mormon.
My mistake. Oh, you joined a cult.
Yeah, I had that warm belly testimony.
Yeah, I heard plenty of those.
Warm belly testimony. That's funny.
That's when they tell you that's when you know it's true.
Yeah.
It's correct.
For us it was the goosebump testimony or the liver shivers.
The liver shivers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I am from Wisconsin, so like I mean, like I am from Wisconsin, so like the liver shivers are way more prevalent. But usually, if you get those, it usually indicates cirrhosis. But like, damn, no one find shit. Okay, tough crowd.
I know it.
But warm belly testimony. I never heard that before.
Warm
But
belly.
I thought it was like it's well known in New Mexico about the warm belly testimony. Like the missionary will ask you, "Do you feel a warmness like in your belly?" And then they accept that to be more credible, because then like after the 6 lessons or 7, then other missionaries come and question you to see if you'll be baptized. If you know about the faith. And then they'll ask you, they said, "What kind of testimony do you have?" And I said, "Well, I had the warm belly one." And then they just asked me like a few questions, and then they're like, "Yeah, now you can be baptized."
One of us. I'm kidding.
It is interesting how many people in here come up on here who were raised or have experienced either in a cult or in extreme religious circumstances.
Hey, I actually got to get going, folks, but it has been fun. So,
well, I'm gonna follow you,
you for
Josh,
joining
and
us,
probably
Josh.
invite you to some of the other lives because you're pretty knowledgeable.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I believe you might have fun if you would go into some of these other lives. I'll give you an invite to some of them. It's a good time.
I just followed you.
Send them my way too, God. I want to see. I know sometimes I've seen that you've sent me things, and I'm not like on my phone when I get them, but I want to see these. I want to see you in other lives, God. I want to watch you at work.
That's usually when I send the invites, is it when I'm up and
Okay,
doing my
cool.
thing.
I gotta start paying more attention to my phone in the middle of the day. I mean, I'm on it constantly. I don't know.
You
Whatever.
should see me work like a plate of tacos on Taco Tuesday. I'm a pro.
There you go. You're just as good as God is on his panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone be cheerful and remember that tomorrow is Taco Tuesday. So
Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday.
well, it's Tuesday.
That's true. I am fucking hungry.
I eat alligators on Tuesday.
Alligators on Tuesday?
Yep.
Why alligator? What? Wait, what?
Honestly, the bar down the street from me has a deal on alligator sandwiches on Tuesdays.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've had fried alligator like once. I tried it in was it in New Orleans? Must have been. In New Orleans. It was pretty good. Tastes like chicken but chewier.
Yeah.
It's like gamey chicken.
Really, I never had that.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, I think it's ethically sourced.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's.
They're pests, right? Like in certain areas, they're actually just pests at this point.
A lot of the gator you'll eat is farm raised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Hey, well,
Damn. Harris makes appearance at first night of DNC. She's on stage right now. Should I raise the volume? Do you guys want to hear what she has to say? She's got a microphone
Indeed,
in
let's
her
check
hand.
that out. I don't have TV, so I'll just watch it from or listen to
Alright.
it from your TV.
I don't think so. As with multi guests, I can't do multi camera. Can you hear that all right?
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a great week.
Is Izzy still on here?
I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible president, Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do.
She's
We
so
are
excited.
forever grateful
She's like,
to
I'm
you.
gonna be president. She's like, you can tell she's very excited.
Thank you, Joe.
I think she's just normally a very happy person.
Yeah, GB.
Looking out at everyone tonight, I see the beauty
Right
of
there.
our great nation. People from every corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward.
We won't go back, or we're not going back.
Optimism, hope, and faith, so guided by our love of country, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals we hold dear.
She's wearing a tan suit, by the way.
When we fight, we win. God bless you.
I feel like didn't someone predict that she would show up in a tan suit to something recently? Oh, the debate. Someone said she would show up in a tan suit to the debate. She showed up in a tan suit to day one of the DNC.
neat. I'm gonna have to bounce, but I'll be right back. I keep getting phone
Okay.
calls.
Okay, God. Tan suit is a... Yeah, exactly, Jam. That was like someone's prediction that she would show up in a tan suit to like the debate or something, just as like a troll. It's funny. Thank you. It's my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's grandfather's artwork. He used to work for a pushpin.
I think she seemed to even perhaps surprise the second gentleman. We saw him mouthing, I didn't know that was going to happen, which was a very second gentleman thing to do. There's Tony Goldwyn after.
All across America, welcome to the first night of the Democratic National Convention.
This is Newsom.
How is that for
Yep.
opening act?
No. Is it?
I'm just saying.
Or it's that fucking... Never mind. It's the fucking actor, dude. Never mind. I looked up. This is the actor who played the president in Olivia Pope thing.
And about a candidate
Yes, there are American flags.
public service who never shies away from a righteous fight and who always stands up for the people. We are going to talk about the choice America faces in this election. It's a choice not just between two very different candidates, but between two very different futures. We will hear from everyday Americans about what is truly at stake in this campaign. The future of our middle class.
Alright, I'm gonna try to land this
the
kickflip. I'll see you.
future of reproductive rights. The future
This
of
what?
climate,
I'll try to land a kickflip. I'll see you later.
Okay. Have fun.
the
Bye.
future of our very democracy. We will see the vision of our nominee. It is a vision of stability, security, and opportunity for everyday Americans, where we continue to grow this economy by growing the middle class.
Bye, GD
And
Rome.
where the safety of our children,
I don't think she performed, but some Beyonce song came out, was played with like a video or something.
instead of scoffing at allies and fawning over dictators, our president stands up for our friends, faces down our adversaries, and American democracy remains a beacon of hope and inspires the world to take on our biggest challenges together. We'll learn the story of a leader who has dedicated her life to doing the work of making good on the promise of America. A leader who understands the middle class because she grew up in the middle class. A leader who has taken on powerful interests at every step of her career and fought for the rights and freedoms of all of us. And then, of course, we will hear again from the Democratic nominee herself, the next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. Because she has a message for us. It is a message that's joyful, not mean-spirited. A message of public service, not self-service.
I don't know
A
who
message
that
of
is.
optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. A message that has woken us up to who we are, to who we've always been. Because Americans are not a cynical people. We are not small-minded. And whether we realize it right now or not, we are currently already writing a new chapter of the American story. And we can dream as big as we want. So, I just want to ask you, are you excited? Yeah? Well, good. Are you ready? Okay. Well, then I challenge you to make this the moment you get off the sidelines and into the game. So I want you to text JOIN to 30330 and get involved. Because when we fight, what happens? We win. And we are going to win this thing together. And while we're doing it, we're going to have a whole lot of fun. So let's get started.
Tony Goldwyn is the sort of celebrity host for this evening. This video here, which I think we can go to, it sets up our next guest, basketball coach Steve Kerr. Watch.
Nine-time NBA champion and coach of the 2024 Olympic gold-winning men's.
You want to ask a question? Go for it. Hi, Philippe. This is NBA basketball team USA coach Steve Kerr. You on your way home? Yay! What's up, Rohan?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up?
I mean, we got into it for a while before.
What's that?
We have a history.
Yeah, you were in here before.
Yeah, and
I forget why. What were we talking about when you were in here?
I think we're talking about the border, and I won the argument, so you just
No, you didn't. Oh, I know for a fact you didn't. Oh, that's right. You were the one who refused to accept like actual facts. Okay. Yeah, I don't need to waste my time with you. Never mind. Jeez. I'm not gonna waste my time on people who aren't gonna listen to actual facts, guys. If anyone wants to come up here and like actually have an exchange of information and ideas and discourse, you're welcome. But if you're just gonna like literally whine and refuse to accept literal numbers, then don't waste my fucking time. Exact. Facts, not feelings.
The American flag raised to the rafters, the national anthem playing.
I'm sorry, what happened to everyone?
Oh, they hopped off. They had to go.
Oh, I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm just playing the speeches from the DNC.
Oh, okay. I'll drop off too now. If you're on like later tonight, I'll try to come back on.
Alright, sounds good, Izzy. Thanks
Alright,
for hopping on.
see you later.
Like,
it was fun gifting you. That was good.
thank you very much for the gifts. I appreciate them.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
I can see the shut up and whistle tweets being fired off.
What side am I? On what?
Also knew as soon as I was asked that
Chi,
it was too
chai.
important as an American citizen not to speak up in an election of this magnitude. The reason I said yes to speaking here tonight is that as a coach and former player, as a husband, a son, a father, even a grandfather, and as an American, I believe in a certain kind of leadership.
I'm anti-pollution.
I believe that leaders must display dignity. I believe that leaders must tell the truth. I believe that leaders should be able to laugh at themselves. I believe leaders must care for.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
I believe leaders
Yeah, I've been up since 5.
knowledge and
Chi.
expertise, but with the full awareness
Chai.
that none of us has all the answers. And in fact, some of the best answers often come from members of the team.
Oh, yay, Robin.
If you look for those qualities in your friends,
Nice.
your boss, or an employee,
Hi, Achilles.
or your child's teacher, or your mayor,
Sorry, Joanne. It's not that I'm not interested in thanking you. It's not that I'm bored of thanking you. Thank you for the heart, me
this
Achilles.
is no contest. With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, I see all those qualities. They have devoted their lives to serving other people. Whether Vice
Thank you for the friendship bracelet, Achilles, or necklace, friendship necklace.
the next generation in the classroom.
Thank you. Kamala. Chi.
Matter. By the way, coach to coach, that guy's awesome.
I'm pro-democracy. Oh, thank you, Joanne. That's nice to hear. I got into an argument with my mom tonight because she told me that I look like a crazy person in my latest post because I'm very angry in my latest post and I just rant. I was just being authentically me. She was like, "You look like a crazy person. You should. What kind of persona do you want to put out there?" And I was like, "It's not a fucking persona.
We saw at the Olympics.
Persona."
That is what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have.
Exactly, Jam. Honestly, sometimes people drive you a little crazy.
Leadership Real leadership. Not the kind
Ugh,
that seeks to divide
this mother.
us, but the kind that recognizes
I told her, I was like, I didn't fucking ask you, but cool.
Think about what our team achieved with 12 Americans in Paris.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy because of her.
Rivalries to represent our country.
Maybe that's it. Maybe if I'm crazy, it's because of her. But she was like, it's a critique. You know, if this is a professional page, then I'm just critiquing your work. This is not professional. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I don't think you understand shit. Also, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't.
Doesn't come from any one of us, but from each of us doing our part
Thank you, Jam.
for perfect union.
Stop. I swear to God, Nas. Want me to read the text to you? If she hops on here tonight and hears me reading her text, she will get so mad. Whatever. I'm in my 30s. She can't do anything to me. I guess she could cut me out of the will. Whatever. It's fine. It's not like she has that much. She says, you sound like a crazy person in your last TikTok. What kind of persona do you want to convey? I wish you'd stick to calm, fair, and reasonable, even when taking on emotional subjects.
In the words of the great Steph Curry, we can
Yeah, right? It went okay-ish. That's funny. I said, oh, geez, leave me alone. People show emotion. Get over it. She goes, I'm critiquing you the way that you might critique anybody else posting something like that. If you think that kind of rant will help your professional career, I think you are mistaken. Give me a fucking break. Swiper, no swiping. Ah. Yeah, right, Jam? Jesus. I said, I didn't ask you for your opinion. Amazing that strangers on the internet can see that post and have more empathy for me than my own mother. Philippe doesn't think I look crazy, by the way. Not this one, Nas. Don't you fucking give me that. Go your man. She goes, 1, I felt plenty of empathy when you explained that situation to me in private. In private. She's a narcissist, so she wants everything negative to be hidden away and be done in private. 2, the fact that some strangers sympathize with your story on the internet tells you absolutely zero about a general impression and what people who you'd like to impress think. And what the people who you'd like to impress think. 3, you don't ask for my opinion and I don't ask for yours, and yet we both give them to each other because that is what family does when they care. I said, cool. Well, as a general blanket statement, I'm not interested in hearing your critiques of my social media. You're not on social media. You barely even ingest it. You're not someone with special knowledge or wisdom on the subject. I thought that was pretty professional. Fuck off. She's a boomer, Tarasaurus. She's 63. My dad turned 70 yesterday. 2 days ago. Hawaiian. My mother doesn't believe in therapy. So. Well, she believes she's too smart for therapy, I should say. Therapy doesn't work for people like her. Because she already knows everything that they have to say to her. So anyway, long story short, I appreciate you saying that you appreciate me being authentic. I'm going to tell my mom. Yeah, parents who don't like therapy are just afraid of are just afraid that their kids are going to learn about how shitty their parents are, I would say.
On one side, we have Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
This is the UAW president, Sean Fain. We like him.
On the other side, we have Trump and Vance.
Two lapdogs for the billionaire class who only serve themselves. So for us in the labor movement, it's real simple. Kamala Harris is one of us. She's a fighter for the working class. And Donald Trump is a scam.
Donald Trump is a scab. They're chanting Trump says scab. Trump says scab.
That's not just my opinion, that's a fact. All we have to do is look at the track record. When Donald Trump was president, corporate America ran wild. Donald Trump did not bring back the auto industry. When Donald Trump was president, auto plants closed. Trump did nothing. Trump told workers in Lordstown, Ohio, that he would be bringing all the auto jobs back. And Trump did nothing. In 2019, General Motor workers went on strike for 40 days for good jobs and a better life. And Trump did nothing. Talk is cheap. But in 2019, you know who was on the picket line standing shoulder to shoulder with auto workers? I'll give you a clue. Her initials are Kamala Harris. In 2023, who helped bring jobs back to Lordstown, Ohio? Kamala Harris. And in 2024, who will stand with the working class in our fight for justice? Kamala Harris. And that's the difference. Donald Trump is all talk, and Kamala Harris walks the walk. In the words of the great American poet, Nellie, it's getting hot in here.
He just took his jacket off and he's wearing a t-shirt underneath that says Trump is a scab. Yeah, I'm sorry, Crispy.
It's hot in here. It's hot in here because you're fired up and you're fed up, and the American working class is fired up and fed up. The American working class is in a fight for our lives. And if you don't believe me, just last night, blue-collar workers, the UAW members at Cornell University had to walk out on strike for a better life because they're fighting corporate greed. And our only hope is to attack corporate greed head on. Corporate greed turns blue-collar blood, sweat, and tears into Wall Street stock buybacks and CEO jackpots. It causes inflation. It hurts workers. It hurts consumers. And it hurts America. And corporate greed is alive and well in the auto industry. You know, last fall, we achieved life-changing gains in our strike at the Big Three. We even won a commitment to reopen a closed plant not too far from here. We were able to do that thanks to the support of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the thousands of auto workers that went on strike. But a year later, one company wants to go back on their commitments in our contract. And let me be clear, Stellantis must keep the promises they made to America in our union contract. And the UAW will take whatever action necessary as Stellantis or any other corporation to stand up and hold corporate America accountable. And when the UAW stands up, we know who stands with us and who stands against us. Donald Trump laughs about firing workers who go on strike. And Kamala Harris stands shoulder to shoulder with workers when they're on strike. And that's the difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump the scab. Trump is pushing the Biden conquer tactics of the rich. It's the honest trick in the book. They want to blame the frustrations of working class people. They want to take those frustrations, they want to blame it on race. They want to blame it on LGBTQ plus people. They want to blame it on some destitute and desperate person at the border. They do that because they want working class people to be divided and to focus and keep the focus off the one true enemy, corporate greed. The rich think we're stupid, but working class Americans see this for what it is. This is our generation's defining moment. So I have a question for you. Are you ready to stand up, speak up, and show up and put Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the White House? We need a defender of the working class in the White House. Someone who is one of us and someone who knows how to fight. And that fighter is the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
The fire-breathing president of the United Auto Workers, Sean Fain. What did he say in the immortal words of Prophet Millie?
Che Guevara? Please. I'm seeing a few signs there that say Jill. They're like green signs with Jill. I wonder if that's like Jill's sign. Stands. Tune in, turn on, drop out. AOC! This is the speech I have been waiting for. After this, I guess Hillary's also speaking. AOC! She looks gorgeous. I love her.
Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. And thank you, Joe Biden, for your leadership.
Thank you, Joe Biden, for fucking off.
As a waitress in New York City, I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure, and we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away unexpectedly from cancer. Like millions of Americans, we were just looking for an honest shake. And we were tired of a cynical politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me to elect them in Congress. Tim Walz as President and Vice President of the United States of America. Tonight, because America has before us a rare and precious opportunity.
Not yet.
In Kamala Harris,
I know, right, Chawine? Yeah, we watch both sides.
who is for the middle class,
They're not gonna bother.
she is from the middle class. She understands the urgency of rent checks and groceries and prescriptions. She is as committed to our reproductive and civil rights as she is to taking on corporate greed. And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages home. In Kamala Harris, I see a leader who understands. I see a leader with a real commitment to a better future for working families. In Chicago, we have to help her win. Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets. The next 78 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th.
Alexa, turn off mute.
But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate so that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant
The theme of tonight, I think, at least us here watching from MSNBC headquarters in New York, is Democratic talent. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she represents Northern Queens and the Bronx. In the Congress, she is a obviously very young member of Congress and therefore not at all senior, but her profile belies not her literal status, but her talent is stunning, actually.
She's really good at it.
She's
really gifted communicator, and not only is she a very gifted communicator naturally, she has navigated the politics of the Democratic Party coalition with incredible deftness and aplomb, both as sort of a dissenting voice in some parts of the party, but never in a way that threatens to sort of undo the unified project that she shares with the other member of the coalition.
All right.
Very, very difficult thing to pull off.
I wonder who's next. Do we think HRC's next? I have to make dinner.
The neighborhood we grew up in
I haven't
was
eaten.
a very hardworking,
What can I make?
tight-knit community. Families going to church on
Dinner boys home.
kids playing in the front yard.
No, I can make it myself. Dinner boy, is that what you are? Should I start calling you dinner boy? Burrito night? No dinner tonight. What am I making you? I don't know, Caglia. What do you want? Philippe just got home. He was off having dinner without me. Can you imagine? I'm over at his place, and he leaves to go have dinner with another woman. Literally. That's true, Caglia. I did see that.
She loved her daughters fiercely. Kamala herself says that her mom told her that she may be the first to do many things, but to make sure that she's not the last. She's always been that kind of person, a true leader, and very protective of her friends and her family.
When Kamala was all
Dinner
of
boy.
4 years old, her best friend in kindergarten, Stacy Johnson,
Late night pulled pork sandwiches. Who's going to pull the pork? That sounds like a euphemism.
We had made some clay art, and this one boy in our class had taken mine for whatever reason.
Bio video of Kamala.
So Kamala, being very protective, just jumped in front of me and stood up to him. To me, that shows the kind of person that she has always been, to stand up to the bully.
Fady on Twitch says, this speech sounds like an ad, and it is. I just came here to see what side I'm on, if it is ever correct to be on a side. Someone doesn't know what a... Yes? Yes? Yes, please. Thank you. Dinner boys strikes again. Oh. 24 hours ago? Yum.
by a family member, and Kamala just jumped in.
Yeah, super Sigma.
Her to come,
W dinner boy.
and mommy said, "Of course, that is Kamala. She can't help herself from standing up for people and standing up for what she thinks is right. She has been that way our whole lives. Being a protector is what led her to become a prosecutor. Looking back now, I can say it was her calling."
Please welcome Stacey Johnson Batiste and Doris Johnson.
I don't know who these people are. Stacey Johnson Batiste and Doris Johnson, her mother. Childhood best friend of VP Harris. You'd never take her fishing? How dare you, Caglio? Thank you, Davis. This has been my profile picture on like all my socials for like a hot minute. Several years. Like maybe 8 years, maybe more.
Until my 1966 Mustang, and Kamala's mom, Shawala, would sit in the front with me, and Kamala and Maya and Stacy would sit in the back, and off we would go to a movie or some adventure.
My mom still has that Mustang.
No. Crop dust.
Kamala has always been a protector. One day at school, we made clay art.
No, Cagley, I like mine.
When they were outside on tables to draw.
What is yours, by the way? You change it all the time.
Took mine, threw it on the ground, and it shattered. Kamala jumped in between him and me and said something that made him so mad, he picked up a rock or something and hit her on the head. Blood came streaming down. The school called Shamala to come take her to the hospital. The stitches she got left a scar over one of her eyes. She still has it. That's the kind of person Kamala has always been from the very beginning. Someone who doesn't hesitate to stand up for what's right, to take up for the underdog, and to stand up to bullies. I have seen it time and again, whether the bully is an individual, a gang, or a corporation. She fights for all of us. Before we go, I know my mom has one more thing to say.
Kamala, your mom would be so proud of you.
Oh. Dorky hats in the audience. Pterosaurus. You got bananaed? What did you get bananaed from?
In Oakland, California. We're expecting now.
I'm pretty sure Trump doesn't have any childhood scars from when he stood up to a bully on behalf of someone else. I don't think that man has ever stood up to anyone on behalf of someone else before. Definitely not any bullies. Oh no, why, Nas? What were you doing? What were you saying? He was definitely the bully. Hillary! Hillary's up. I'm not like a huge Hillary stan, but whatever. She's getting a long ass standing ovation. They're not letting her start her speech. They're still standing. It's still a standing ovation. Still going. She keeps. Thank you. Thank you. Still standing. Still cheering. Still going. Oh my God. This might be the longest standing ovation anyone's gotten at the DNC. Not even kidding. All right, finally.
Something is happening in America. You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden. He has been democracy's champion.
dignity, decency, and competence back to the White House.
Oh my God, Joanne.
And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership.
I love how they all keep saying lifetime of service and leadership. That is not my cat. Shut the fuck up.
And now we are writing a new chapter in America's story. You know, my mother Dorothy was born right here in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That
Damn, you are old.
and 4 years ago yesterday. Think about it. Tennessee became the final state. To ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. No more delays, she wrote. Give us the vote. And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless black congresswoman named Shirley Chisholm.
Shirley Chisholm. She ran for president. And she stepped aside during the 1969 Chicago DNC.
Her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for. Working parents, poor children, the
Shirley Chisholm was pretty fucking awesome.
1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president. If we can do this, Jerry said, we can do anything. And then there was 2016, when it was the honor of my life to accept our party's nomination for president. And nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams. And afterwards, we refused to give up on America. Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here.
It's kind of crazy. Hillary should have been president. Like, I mean, obviously for so many reasons, but like, comparing this speech and the way she's giving it compared to like Biden giving his speeches over the last couple of months, it's like,
to afford childcare, young people struggling to pay their rent. They're all asking us to keep going. So, with faith in each other and joy in our hearts, let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House.
with faith in each other. With faith in each other and no. With trust in each other and faith in our hearts. Is that what she said? Whatever she said, it was good.
The story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people, or split into us versus them? That's the choice we face in this election. Kamala has the character, experience, and vision to lead us forward. I know her heart and her integrity. We both got our start as young lawyers, helping children who were abused and neglected. That kind of work changes a person. Those kids stay with you. Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child she protected, every family she helped, every community she served. So as president, she will always have our backs, and she will be a fighter for us.
I'm not a huge Hillary fan either, but good speech.
Open the doors wide for good-paying jobs, and yes, she will restore abortion rights nationwide.
I dropped a big streamer on Twitch. What am I thinking? I'm enjoying Hillary's speech. Is cereal soup? I think you've asked that in here before, Carlos. I believe it's technically a stew.
He made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Yes, this is the DNC. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. Fiddler. The experiment has failed. Maybe. But we're gonna keep trying to save it. Do they keep blocking you, Fiddler? If cereal is soup, then so is the ocean. Yeah, the ocean is soup, obviously.
Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans. She reveres our Medal of Honor recipients.
If it were multiple cereals combined, then he would call it a stew. That's fair. That's actually pretty fair. Okay, fine. Cereal is soup.
Democracy and our Constitution.
Or is it technically like ramen? You know? What constitutes a noodle? But if there's more cereal than milk, isn't it kind of like a soupy noodle, like a brothy noodle? I don't know, what would we call like ramen? Ramen is, you know what I mean? Is ramen a soup? Is ramen a soup? Whatever ramen is, I think cereal is.
Of our founders. Take care. Just look at the candidates. Kamala cares about kids and families, cares
Nice,
about
Fiddler.
America. Donald only cares about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people. That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. We have him on the run now.
It's a good speech, yo.
No matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We have to fight for Kamala as she will fight for us. Because you know what? It still takes a village to raise a family, heal a country, and win a campaign. And America needs every one of us. Our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling.
I gotta say, by the way, her hair is like perfect tonight.
Tonight, so close to breaking through once and for all. I want to tell you what I see through all those cracks and why it matters for each and every one of us. What do I see? I see freedom. I see the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our lives, our loves, our families. The freedom to work with dignity and prosper, to worship as we choose or not, to speak our minds freely and honestly. I see freedom from fear and intimidation, from violence and injustice, from chaos and corruption. I see the freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
Bill's not speaking, and I don't think he will speak. I think he's like older. He's, there's stuff coming out. The guy is like older. You know what I mean? Of course, Cottage. I've been on since like 6:30, if you can believe it.
Dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here, and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand.
You don't know what to believe other than yourself? I mean, there's verifiable information out there. That would be cool.
Wow, an emotional speech and an emotional emotional reception for Hillary Clinton in the room. A sustained, raucous, emotional standing ovation. She took the stage. We saw Governor Tim Walz's wife, Gwen. You see her getting emotional at several points during the speech. Hillary Clinton taking it to Donald Trump, talking about Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial. That eliciting a lock him up chant from the crowd, which Hillary Clinton pointedly did not join in, although she sort of acknowledged it with a look.
Lock him up.
She talked about there being so many cracks in the glass ceiling, now being so close to breaking through.
I
being
hope
proud
not.
to
I
be
hope not,
there in this
Pterosaurus.
moment. The future is here. Keep
Aw,
going.
Joanne, I'm glad you're here.
That was an emotional speech, an emotional moment from Hillary Clinton.
She sought to mobilize the entire, not just the room, but the viewing audience. I think it was the most direct call to action. I think she also gave a political analysis that a fair read of the polls certainly backs up. Quote, we have him on the run now.
Yeah.
Something she never said as a candidate when she ran against him. I mean, she would, you know, it's a moment. I think she captured it as well as anyone has.
Yeah, she said he's
Thank you,
mocking her
Joanne.
name and mocking her laugh sounds familiar, but we have him on the run. So,
It's a good speech.
if you think about, she didn't even need to be there.
I took a photo of what the big speakers were on tonight. Let me see. I feel like she must be like the last one. Thank you, Joanne.
Which was her campaign song, but everything about it was stunning.
there's Congressman James Clay.
Really, Cottage? I'm honored. Are we? Are we, in fact, the same? Jim Clyburn is up now. No. Shucks. Do you guys want to hear this speech?
Schools closed, businesses shuttered. Donald Trump mismanaged the crisis from day one, looking out for himself instead.
Thank you, Achilles. That's the one that my mom was telling me it was too. Made me look crazy.
Thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we reopened our schools, brought back our businesses, and restored
Oh, damn.
our faith in the American can-do spirit. Thanks to Joe and Kamala, we reduced the price of prescription drugs.
Very on script, yeah. Speeches are pre-written. Yes. Just because. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Achilles. I don't know. I would think so, Cottage. I feel like a lot of the big people. AOC already spoke. Kamala came out. She made an appearance. HRC. I'm trying to look, but my computer's too hot, apparently, so it's not syncing. It paused the syncing. And I. HRC. Yeah, I liked her. I liked that speech of hers as well. It's a good speech. She did well. It's all trash. All right. You're welcome to feel that way. Dropped. More for Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy, who died in what was it, 1968, 69? Hmm? Oh. Hey, welcome. You were already trying to sleep? RFK? Oh, that? God. I guess, yeah, Robert. I guess he technically is another Bobby, isn't he? Ugh. 68. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm sleepy. Hi, MAGA.
Having grown up in a parsonage, I often look to the good book for understanding and guidance. As 2 Corinthians informs, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair.
Whoa, thank you. Look what Dinner Boy got me. Russian dumplings. Wow.
And so has the basic goodness of the American people. But our resolve to remain a great country with freedom and justice for all will not falter.
Thank you.
We will continue our march toward a more perfect union, united in our common purpose and emboldened by our resolve to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz
Why are you looking at me like that?
President and Vice President of these United States of America. Thank you and Godspeed.
Thank you.
James Clyburn, much more than a congressman from South Carolina, one of the graybeards and wise men of Democratic Party.
Can you leave, MAGA?
James Clyburn.
That's
still a member of House of Representatives, and as
Yeah, she's right here.
people watching this coverage would remember, the key endorsement for Joe Biden's presidential campaign. I don't think there would be a Joe Biden nomination without James Clyburn's endorsement in the South
Oh, I
Carolina
kind of remember that.
primary at the crucial moment. It really
Peak
changed
food.
the entire- we've never seen anything like
Peak
the
food.
campaign the way that did, and he personified what we've been taught to call the switch, where he delivered that just beautiful thanks to Joe Biden and honoring
Charlotte
Joe Biden's
Kirk?
achievements.
Who is that?
And including in Joe Biden's achievements the selection of Kamala Harris as vice president, which in effect became the selection of this new nominee. And then James Clyburn goes on with the new nominee as only he can.
He's such a beautiful soul and such a dear friend of President Biden. And of all the people that I think would maybe move President Biden to tears, if he's kind of seen the speeches before, his remarks, I imagine that one did. I had the congressman on the night before President Biden's address to the nation, and he choked up talking about how he wanted to go home
they're
and
different
watch it at
types.
home because it would be so moving to him.
I just realized there's different types.
The bond that formed between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Nice.
The bond between Jim Clyburn and Joe Biden is just as remarkable. We're expecting just in the next moments here, Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland talk about somebody who has ascended to a level that sort of transcends their literal job in Democratic politics. Jamie Raskin's going to be speaking.
These are Russian
Also, young
dumplings.
Texas firebrand Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is expected to be speaking within the next few moments.
Very good. Thank
And
you.
then we're moving into
Yeah.
a portion
Thank
of
you.
the RNC tonight, programming that's going
They're perfect.
That is going to include some very, very big games, including obviously, ultimately, President Biden.
I realized earlier that the reason I'm probably so sleepy, like yesterday and today, is the allergy meds.
We've also got a lot of issue-specific stuff that's going to happen over these next few minutes. It's going to be a really interesting stretch of the DNC tonight. Here's Congressman Raskin of Maryland.
Who got the Taylor Swift endorsement? Well, I assume Democrats. Someone asked when I said these were. This is Jamie Raskin, his speech. If you want to hear his speech, let me know. Someone asked if, when I said Russian dumplings, they asked if they're actually Ukrainian, stolen by Russia.
You know? Maybe.
Says you know, maybe.
It's not just the heat. I mean, it's the stupidity. I don't know. That's been like a part of Russian food. We meet in this great I don't know. Tonight. It could be true. Where Abraham Lincoln was nominated.
He says he doesn't know.
To save the Union.
Oh yeah, I saw the fake thing.
Insurrectionists.
I'm really excited for her to sue him because she has real money, and she does not like that man.
Fascist dictators. Now we fight in our
He is. He just got here. He just got back a little while ago, and then maybe dinner.
against the banana Republicans who have converted Lincoln's
You don't think so, Rohan?
into a dangerous cult of personality. You know, I'll never forget the pounding on the doors of the House chamber on January 6th, where the screams to follow. Hundreds of
Yeah.
police officers
Banana Republicans, yeah.
and attacked. 140 of them wounded by extremists wielding baseball bats, steel pipes, even American.
Should I tell Philippe that you're hungry too?
5 people died that day, and
He is the
4
best.
of our officers took their own lives.
Oh no,
in the weeks to come. All of this after Trump was defeated by more than 7 million votes.
I know, no. They're fucking panicking. Philippe, the chat thinks that you're the best.
Every ridiculous claim raised by
He says, thanks, chat.
who does not know how to take no for an answer from American voters, American courts, or American.
I've said this before, but he's a lot better of a boyfriend to me than I am a girlfriend to him. I don't do nearly as much nice stuff for him.
As they stormed the Capitol and injured our officers, hang Mike Pence.
That's true.
Someone should have told Donald Trump
Philippe.
that the
Oh, he just went out.
job under Article
I'll tell him
2
when he's
of the
back.
Constitution.
I do.
Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution is to take
Well, my goal is to one day become the breadwinner, so he can just be my house husband. You know, I'll go out, I'll do all the things, I'll make all the money, and then he can keep doing the nice things for me. And Philippe, Straight Edge wanted me to clarify that he actually asked where his food is.
Where
his food is. Did you make any food for Straight Edge?
Yeah. In a general election.
In exchange for barbecue.
He said yes in exchange for barbecue.
And by the way, JD Vance, do you understand
You gotta show mine.
why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor. They tried to kill him because he would not follow Trump's plan to destroy and nullify the votes of millions of Americans. Your votes, Pennsylvania. Your votes, Michigan. Your votes, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona.
He says done
Are we
deal.
going to go back to the days of election suppression and violent insurrection?
All right, sounds good. Do you want my advice on it and stuff? Straight Edge?
Well, look, 1 week
Okay.
after that beautiful day, as Trump calls it,
No, I know that, straight edge. But I can give you advice to get it good. That doesn't mean anything bad, you know? You don't do that professionally. It should not be good. If it is good, people like me are in trouble. You know? Thank you, Get Lit. Thank you for the donuts. Thank you.
He calls for, quote, the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those in the Constitution. My friends, are we the people going to let Donald Trump terminate our Constitution and obliterate the blessings of liberty for our posterity? That's right. We're going to elect.
Thank you, Cottage. Thank you for the heart puff. Woo.
We're going to elect the career prosecutor and inspiring public servant and Coach Walls, and we're going to defeat Donald Trump.
She was not waiting nicely earlier.
Incorrigible recidivist con man and his pet chameleon, J.D. Vance. And America, let's make it a
Okay, where did you send it?
so big that Donald Trump and his kangaroo
For merch.
cannot even try to steal it.
Thank you, Cottage.
Let's make sure every vote is counted. Let's let freedom ring and let's let democracy work in America.
Okay. You can send videos on DM? Really?
Please welcome Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. Oh. It's already posted. Well, then what's the point of me giving you advice on it? Now, obviously, I'm not going to give you advice on it. I'm just going to say it's great. Direction.
So let's compare the resumes, shall we? One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem.
It's a good question, Cottage. I was thinking earlier, a couple of speeches had like the same sort of few words in them and like things. I mean, only like one chunk of words that was the same, but probably.
Secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home. Critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the farm bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare.
I do like
America, looking at the two choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet. She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time. Emilio Lago. Well, Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th. Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America. In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is. Don't make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight. Even though there is only one person qualified, only one person who's done the work, and who has delivered the results. And she needs you. She needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you? Some of you know a little bit of my history, some of you don't, so let me tell you. I was a public defender. I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor. Yeah. She was the first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism. Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say, I did not copy off of her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked
Cottage.
into the courtroom and said,
Did you hear that?
Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that. Many of you know her credentials. But what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met. But she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying.
I totally missed that Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, gave remarks earlier, right before Sean Fain.
She then said, among other things, you are exactly where God wants you. Your district chose you because they believe in you, and so do I. The next month,
Democracy.
I went viral for the first of many times to come.
Right now, like, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the list of speakers tonight. Because I don't know if I want to live stream all of them. And I was trying to see how many were left until fucking Joe Biden at the end of the night. There's a lot of speakers. There's a lot.
Will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision? For a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style. We deserve better. We deserve a president who can be
I hear alliterations are back in style.
one who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Alliteration can also be vowels. E. Alliteration just means like using the same letter a bunch, usually at the beginning of the word. So a bunch of A words, a bunch of E words. That's alliteration as well. I don't think so. Yeah, like Magamobile. Yeah, but Jasmine Crockett, she's the one who said the she insulted what was it, Marjorie Taylor Greene by calling her what did Crockett call Marjorie Taylor Greene? Something bitch. Like a backyard.
Because doctors were forced to follow Trump's abortion ban. Kamala will protect a woman's right to choose.
We trust women to make decisions about their own bodies and not have the government tell them what to do.
I have so much faith in her.
And when Congress passes a law to restore reproductive freedom as President of the United States, I will sign it into law.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. That's what it was. Yeah, there we go. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Bitch, I believe. Don't you dare, Riz. That's what the joke was. Why she said, I hear alliteration is back in style. It's because she went viral for calling MTG that.
We were told with 100% certainty.
Advocates for reproductive freedom.
Willow, and we were sent home. For 3 days, we waited until Amanda was sick enough to receive standard abortion care. Eventually, Amanda's temperature spiked. She was shaking, disoriented, and crashing. I don't remember what I threw into our bag that day, only that instead of welcoming Willow, I was hoping Amanda's life could be saved. I'm here tonight because the fight for reproductive rights isn't just a woman's fight. This is about fighting. This is about fighting for our families. And as Kamala Harris says, our future.
All the things you would never eat, so you're not jealous.
Every time I share our story, my heart breaks. For the baby girl we wanted desperately. For the doctors.
He's talking about his experience with his wife. They're standing next to each other. They're talking about their baby.
Who feared he would lose me too. But I was lucky.
Men should give a shit about women's rights too.
So I'll continue sharing our story, standing with women and families across the country. Today, because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in America lives under an abortion ban. A second Trump term would rip away even more of our rights. Passing a national abortion ban, letting states monitor pregnancies and prosecute doctors, restricting birth control and fertility treatments. We cannot let that happen. We need to vote as if lives depend on it, because they do.
Two years ago, my husband and I were expecting our second child. Our daughter Lauren couldn't wait to be a big sister. I was getting ready for her 4th birthday party when something didn't feel right. 2 emergency rooms sent me away. Because of Louisiana's abortion ban, no one would confirm that I was miscarrying. I was in pain, bleeding so much my husband feared for my life. No woman should experience what I endured, but too many have. They write to me saying, what happened to you happened to me. Sometimes they're miscarrying, scared to tell anyone, even
Speak over. Why the fuck do men have to speak over women on anything?
America deserves better. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will fight for reproductive rights and our freedom and our shared future.
Yeah, she did really well, Devonta. I agree.
Growing up, I was an all-American girl. Varsity soccer captain, cheerleading captain, homecoming queen, and survivor. I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. At age 12, I took my first pregnancy test, and it was positive. That was the first time I was ever told, you have options. I can't imagine not having a choice. But today, that's the reality for many women and girls across the country because of Donald Trump's abortion bans. He calls it a beautiful thing. What is so beautiful about a child having to carry her parent's child? There are other survivors out there who have no options. And I want you to know that we see you. We hear you. Kamala Harris will sign a national law to restore the right to an abortion.
Tim Laws looks so concerned for her. It's kind of sweet.
She will fight for every woman and every girl, even those who
There are
are
people
not
crying.
fighting for her. And now I am honored to introduce another champion for women, a leader who's fought for me and for so many others, Governor Andy Beshear.
Andy Bashir. Oh, I'm not calling you out. They skipped Grace Meng. So that was, I think her name is Hadley Duval. She's like listed in a list of, it's called Joint Remarks. And it was Amanda and Josh, Zurowski, Texas, Caitlin, Joshua, Louisiana, and Hadley Duval, Kentucky. I think that was Hadley. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you for the heart me. Hadley Duval. Yeah. We're listening to the DNC speeches. Just hanging out, talking. Andy Bashir is talking. Do you guys want to hear that?
That leaves 12-year-old girls like Hadley with no options. That fails any test.
That's not right. Are you sure? Hadley Duval.
Any test of whether you have any underlying empathy. Thankfully, this
She's not famous. She's just like a random person who came, like, who gave comments. Yeah. I mean, maybe she's famous. Yeah, she's an abortion rights advocate. Thank you, Claudia. Hi, go right.
Folks, Donald Trump appointed the Supreme Court justices who got us into this mess. His Project 2025 goes even further. Here's the thing. Trump and Vance simply don't believe in your freedom. Trump says people
It's
are
all right.
absolutely
We're just listening to other people talk. I'm not really doing anything. I kind of want to go to sleep, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll let this play and take a nap.
are simply inconvenient. Their policies give rapists more rights than their victims. That's not inconvenient, it's just plain wrong. And a woman grieving a non-viable pregnancy shouldn't be required to carry it to term just to listen to her child die.
I agree, Ryan.
Or to hear no sound at all. All women should have the freedom to make their own decisions. Freedom over their own bodies. Freedom about whether to pursue IVF. Freedom about whether to have children at all. How we treat people transcends party lines. It goes right to the heart of who we are. My faith teaches me the golden rule, that I'm to love my neighbor as myself. And the parable of the Good Samaritan says we are all each other's neighbors. So I want anyone watching tonight, Republican, Independent, Democrat, to know that you are welcome here. We believe in America where we live out our values rights once and for all, and move beyond this us versus them by remembering we are all Americans. That's how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris lead.
Luckily,
They
we
both
love
called to
cheese.
ask how they could help Kentucky in recovering from natural disasters. They helped us improve our roads, our bridges, and invested in our people. They didn't ask me who Kentuckians voted for. They asked me what Kentuckians needed, and folks, they delivered. Kamala Harris gets it. She knows we must move beyond anger, extremism, and division, that everyone has dignity and deserves respect. America, we're going to win. And we're going to win by staying true to our values of compassion, empathy, and doing right by our neighbors. I'm so proud to be all in for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Vice President Harris herself now in the arena as Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear finishes his remarks. String of emotional and intense remarks from the stage by both elected officials and regular American women who have experienced incredible trials and tribulations on reproductive rights. Here's Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock.
Well, hello, America. Thank you so very much. On January 5th, 2021, the people of Georgia did an amazing thing. They sent a black kid who grew up in public housing and the Jewish son of an immigrant to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. And among those Georgians was my then 82-year-old mother. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is? It's way across Georgia. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia, where she picked other people's cotton and other people's tobacco. But because this is America, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator. This is my America. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Georgia.
Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia.
For raising your voice and using your vote. A vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together. And so together we flipped the Senate, held the House, and we sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Together we vaccinated our citizens, we fortified our cities and our towns, and we stood by our small businesses. Together we set out to heal the land. A nation besieged by a deadly pandemic, and beset by the awful and divisive rhetoric of a man too small for the office entrusted him or the task set before him. The day after my January 5th election, he instigated an insurrection, a violent assault on our nation's capital and the peaceful transfer of power, all driven by the big lie. But behind the big lie was an even bigger lie. It is the lie that this increasingly diverse American electorate does not get to determine the future of the country. The lie and the logic of January 6th is a sickness. It is a kind of cancer that then metastasized into dozens of voter suppression laws all across our country. And we must be vigilant tonight because these anti-democratic forces are at work right now in Georgia and all across our country. And the question is, who will heal the land? And so here we are, America. Are you ready? Are you ready to stand up in this moral moment? Stand up for the best in the American covenant. Elections are about the character of a country. And we must decide, again, we are the latest generation of Americans who get to decide what kind of country we want to be. And we must choose between the promise of January 5th and the peril of January 6th. A nation that embraces all of us or just some of us. Donald Trump's America is the America of January 6th. People who have no vision traffic in division. He does not know how to lead us, and so he wants to divide us. America, make no mistake, Donald Trump is a plague on the American conscience. He is a clear and present threat to the precious covenant we share with one another. And yes, I saw him holding the Bible and endorsing a Bible as if it needed his endorsement. He should try reading it. It says, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. He should try reading it. It says, love your neighbor.
I might hop off. I'm trying to stay up for this thing, but I gotta wake up at like 5 in the morning. I'm very, very sorry. You guys hate me if I hop off now? I know. Riz, stop.
The American covenant. E pluribus unum out of many one. I choose January 5th. I choose a nation that provides a powerful.
This has been fun. I plan to be doing this during the, like, all week during the convention, but I won't take allergy meds tomorrow, maybe. It'll probably be easier for me to stay up a little longer. All right. Yes, forever. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, so much. Here, let me find. I'm also, like, remote controlling my computer from here, weirdly. All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I know, right? Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for the galaxy. Thank you, Claudia, for the heart puff. Thank you, guys. All right. Woo! You should tune in, though. I'm sure someone's live streaming it. You should tune in. Jill and Joe Biden will be talking tonight.